Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday, December 20th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 66. Coming up on OTB, Matt Flynn joins the show in studio at 8 a.m. Tom VanHaaren of ESPN comes on at 8:15, and we talk to Billy Embody at 9 a.m. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in. Merry Christmas, everyone. December 20th, 2023. I should say happy holidays, because though today is not technically Christmas, it is a holiday for many of you, as it is National Signing Day. The first of two National Signing Days. This is kind of the main one. Gone are the days where we all wait until February with bated breath. And though admittedly in the transfer portal era, signing is probably taking a bit of a hit, it's still exciting if you care about such things, as a lot of teams' futures will be kind of will start to be shaped and formed today, lay the groundwork. And look, it's interesting. Like, some teams approach it differently, right? Lane Kiffin, I think Ole Miss is ranked around 20 right now. Surface look at, they don't care. They don't care. They don't want to build through high school. They want to build through the portal. They got the number one portal class. They're expected to be a playoff team next year because of it. They continue to make huge waves on that front, whereas, what has Brian Kelly told you multiple times, he does want to build through high school, and thus he's got 27 commits coming, a lot of 4 stars, no 5 stars. We can get into all of it today. I'm not the biggest year-round recruiting guy, meaning that today it's a bit like cramming for an exam, as I've been not just studying LSU, but trying to get kind of a grasp of some of the other major classes and teams and storylines out there. So we'll bring it all to you today, as well as welcoming in a couple of experts who can, give you the latest breaking news. And Taylor, you're going to be watching commitments, signings as they roll in.
Yeah, I'll have the early signing day tracker up, as well as the Twitter machine.
No fax machine? No fax machine?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're still faxing in at LSU, yeah.
I think
right?
they actually take pictures now.
They don't fax?
I don't think so.
What do you mean? You just take a picture
I
of
think
what?
they
Like,
still
of the
use
contract?
the phrase, like, until the ink dries or whatever, but I don't know if they actually use it.
I think it's like you just take a picture now of what you signed and just send it to them.
I think it would be awesome if they used it. I would be
Fax
surprised
machine,
if they did, yeah.
Still don't know how a fax machine works, by the way. It's amazing.
I mean, do you know how a copy machine works?
No, but think about it. Like, for a fax, it copies it and then sends a picture through a phone line.
That's what I'm saying.
Blows my
I feel
mind.
like, but again, what was the key? You said copy in there, right? So, I mean, if you understand if we can understand how a copy machine works, then we can eventually bridge that gap to understand how fax works, as you would just be sending that information digitally, I suppose, or through phone lines, or however it used to work back in the day. Either way, Taylor, we'll give you. I'll say this in terms of LSU class, just a brief overview. One impressive thing for the class, if you want to start with a positive, all 27 commitments are expected to sign. There have been no visits taken by a single member of the 27 recently. Everybody feels very firmly committed to LSU. And you get, there's something to be said for that. Now, certainly, I know there's some frustration out there, as you have you could say, a lack of top-end star power. Now, they got 17 4-stars, which I believe is second in the country, only to Georgia's 19. So that's very good. But you have no 5-stars, and you look around, and like Texas has 5 of them, and Georgia has 4, and Ohio State's got a few. Florida used to have a bunch, but as we'll get to later in the show, if you dislike Florida, well, it's been a good couple weeks for you because Florida's team is falling apart through the portal. This very highly ranked class they had put together and paid for is falling apart very, like as we speak, more and more by the day. So, look, LSU, while this is not the greatest class ever, not falling in that top 10, and I think 7th in the SEC, which is certainly a bit frustrating. There are some positives. Like I said, 17 4-stars, 27 commitments, all expected to sign. You have 10 of the top 12 players in the state.
Which I think's the most important part.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that consistently, generally that's how you build a championship team at LSU we've seen through the years.
And maybe, just maybe, you can find a way to flip Dominic McKinley from Acadiana.
And you're going to have some time because he's not going to sign until February.
Yeah.
His mom announced. So do not look for Dominic McKinley news today. Remember, Brian Kelly and Frank Wilson just made an in-home visit with McKinley. They have an official lined up for January. Another guy that you could potentially flip in February. So, again, don't be too married to watching him today, but 5-star athlete Terry Bussey from Texas. He's committed to A&M. He's not going to sign until February. One guy to watch today, though you may not get the news until Friday unless it leaks out, is a 4-star offensive lineman, Cohen Eccles from Katy, Texas. He was once committed to A&M. He has since decommitted. He's now between LSU and Auburn. And word on the street is he may make the decision today, but then not, with the coaching staff signs in his papers, but then ask them and others to keep it secret until his birthday on Friday. Will it actually happen? Remains to be seen. That said, from a positional standpoint, I do already like this offensive line haul. I think they got 5 guys in the boat. I know Brad Davis is happy. You push that number to 6. Again, I think it's interesting, right? Brian Kelly has to pick it up when it comes to getting DBs and really defensive players in general, it feels like. But when it comes to offensive linemen, not only is it better than it's been ever with how you look at the line right now and the future of that room, but the recruits are bringing in look great as well. And if there's one thing that Brian Kelly has done very well throughout his entire tenure, go look at Notre Dame, it is put together and develop very good offensive line. So, each coach has their strengths, and it's funny to watch those strengths kind of meld with whatever new school or region they're in. And for Kelly, that has been really making the future of offensive line play look very bright.
Yeah, and when you look at position that he kind of focused in on as soon as he got here, remember, I mean, he mentioned the offensive line and being built on the line of scrimmages because the offensive line recruiting had really just slipped off. And so now this is kind of a position where it's like a little bit of your baby, tight end as well. Yeah. I would kind of throw into that category. So they've done some great things there. I know a lot of people are waiting on some defensive linemen. I would expect the defensive tackle in the portal here coming up really any day for that to be announced. We've seen some of the other positions of need go ahead. You get a returner, which is something you desperately need. You needed a safety, and so you go get those players. I don't think they're done now. I don't think they're going to do a deep dive into the portal. I don't think it's going to be a year where they bring in 14 players in the portal. I think it's going to be single digits. That's what it feels like right now. And so, where do those positions come from? I would assume defensive front has to be one of them, along with the defensive backfield.
Yeah, the problem is, smoke on the street is, I mean, how do you get anybody to sign when you don't know who's going to be coaching your defensive backfield or your defensive front?
And they might know within house, and they're telling them, what it is, and maybe that's just not out yet. But to your point, if you don't, it's very difficult. Even though they tell you not to commit or sign with the coach, what do we all do? We commit and sign the coaches.
Yeah, and again, look, I said it yesterday, but the rumor that I have heard, and again, you can't take any of these things as 1,000% truth, but what I had heard is the number one quarterback in the portal, DeCamarion Richardson from Mississippi State, that the reason why he went to Ole Miss instead of LSU is because he said he didn't know he was going to be coaching him at LSU. And so I think Kelly, look, I know that you have a current staff makeup, and that's the staff that's been putting together signing day. And so even though, like you said, it seems like it's the weird thing where, a lot of people know moves are happening, but they're not saying it publicly yet. I said it yesterday. In some way, it feels like when there's relationship, right? And it's so sad. I hate it when this happens. But like everybody knows that this guy's wife is like running around sleeping with this other guy behind his back. He seems to be the only one that maybe doesn't know. But nobody wants to say anything because it's not really their place. And that's kind of what's going on right now with this LSU staff a bit. And I hope that they'll get to, announcing some things sooner rather than later, as it's just a weird holding pattern. And the only thing that I could say is, okay, well, maybe you want to get through this early signing period and then you go into these moves, because like Jake said, you commit to coaches. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it all shakes out. But I do think it has negatively affected LSU when it comes to defensive line recruiting and backfield recruiting, which are the two things that they arguably need more than anything right now. All right, when we get back, why don't we do this? Let's actually take a look at kind of the makeup of this class, how we feel about how it breaks down. I know a lot of you listening are more 24/7 locked into the recruiting cycle as well. So if you want to give us your best takes and we can bounce off of them, youtube.com/1045 ESPN is a great place to do so. So yeah, hit the like button, get involved. Let's have ourselves a Wednesday morning, the 20th, boys, the 20th. Remember, be present. Enjoy the holiday seasons. Kids at home today, have fun for sure. And we'll see you on the other side for some more Cruton.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Hey, check it out, y'all. This is not, look, I love All-Star Toyota. Toyotathon's going on right now. It is the absolute best if you want to get a new Toyota. But I want to talk to you again about the body shop. And this is not just for Toyotas, okay? All makes and models. When you go to All-Star Toyota, you get a lifetime warranty on the work that is done. You get free estimates. My favorite part, too, of that free estimate is when they have your vehicle, you are getting constant and immediate response text updates, right? Not automated. Actual people typing them out. And that means that they don't make any big decisions without you approving, and you stay on top of exactly what's going on throughout the process. They're right there in Airline and Goodwood. Insurance claims are welcome. They have the shuttle service to drop you off where you need to go, pick you up. They have rental cars right there on site. Hit up Miss Lisa Sessions, factory parts. And when you go in there, they're monitoring this. So if you want to help out the boys, when you bring your vehicle in, mention OTB JCast, you get $100 towards your deductible. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $10,000 off new Jeep Grand Cherokee, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty.
Along with an old school ice cold.
Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
.104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB here in this Wednesday, December 20, 2023. Early signing period officially kicked off today. If you look at LSU right now in the on-3 composite, like I said, they're number 12. However, on-3 is the highest in LSU's class. Then, as Shea Dixon writes, it's because of the outlier on some guys like Weston Davis, who's an offensive tackle that is a 4-star most, but on 3 has him as a 5-star. C.J. Jackson on 3 has as a top 10 edge rusher, and Ethan Callaway, who's a top 150 prospect, they're a bit higher on than the others. So actually, and on 3, LSU ranks 6th, number 11 on 247 and Rivals, whereas ESPN has them ranked 14. Which in the composite puts them at 12. Jake, I think I know your answer, but are you at all worried about LSU not having any consensus 5 stars?
You do know my answer. I'm sure our listeners know my answer. No, I don't. I don't star gaze. I don't star chase. If you didn't have really good football players committed to you, then yeah, I would worry. But you have really good football players committed to you. And look, like currently right now, I'm looking in the portal, and I see, just scrolling once, I see 7 guys that used to be 5-star guys in high school, and now in the portal, they're 3 or 4 stars.
Yeah.
Right? You kind of get reevaluated once you go into the portal, and guys that they thought were 5-star guys are no longer 5-star guys. And so it happens all the time. And I am never going to judge a class here on this day based off how many 5 stars you do or don't have. Like, do you have good football players? Do you have, like you're talking about, 17 4-stars committed to you, guys that have offers from Alabama and Georgia and Florida State and all the other places? So I think it's a good class. It's a class that's got really good players. It's one where you were able to flip a couple of guys from Texas A&M. And so remember, you still can sign guys in February too. Just because you signed 27 guys, that no longer matters. You can sign up to 85 scholarships. And so it's not done either. And you still are in on some of the guys that are committed elsewhere right now, but kind of opened up their recruitment again that are 5 stars. And so, yeah, again, I know I am lonely on the dance floor here on this take, and a lot of people can point to where I was rated in my high school recruiting days, and maybe that's why, but it's not going to be the say-all, be-all when it comes to this class for me.
Dominic McKinley would be the big one that would be exciting in terms of a name, a 5-star, and would fill a position of need. But again, that won't be till February. Positionally, I do like this class. You talk about Brian Kelly's strengths. We know that BK and Mike Denbrock love tight ends, right? Well, you have the consensus number 1 tight end in the entire country in Trades Green out of Zachary. I mean, Cat's, what, 6.5 is what I'm seeing. 6.5, 230. Okay, that's obviously very exciting. We mentioned Weston Davis, the big offensive tackle, which, again, LSU seems to be building a bit of a offensive line pipeline here. I mean, the tackle situation is better than I've ever seen it. Ever since, I mean, Will Campbell, Emory Jones. Oh, my God, why am I blanking? 53, my boy. Big boy. He was awesome.
Hurd.
Oh, yeah, Lance Hurd. Now you're going to add Weston Davis to that mix. I mean, we're talking about cats that could hang as freshmen. You look like you're set there for years to come. Taylor, can you tell me anything about Deshaun McBride from Denham Springs? Number 4 safety in the entire country. Obviously very exciting because not only is he an NCAA recruit, but as we said, like LSU desperately needs good defensive backs right now. And he checks that box. And he's remained a hard commit even through all the flux and some of the LSU defensive struggles.
Yeah, he's I'd probably say better in coverage right now than open field tackling, which is to be expected from a high school kid. He's rangy. He's at 200 pounds right now, but at a 6'2 frame, he could easily play at 220, 225 if you needed him to. Runs all over the field, really, really good speed. So he's a rangy safety back there. They always use the term, which I hate, but it actually kind of fits him. Oh, he's a center fielder out there in the middle of the field. That actually kind of fits his style of play.
He's a beast. I used to call his games with Denham Springs. Really rangy, really good in coverage, like Taylor's saying.
So he's someone certainly exciting. I think if we look out of state, and by the way, we want to talk about North Louisiana. One of your top commits in this class is Tylen Singleton. It's a linebacker ranked number 10 in the entire country for linebackers, a top 150 recruit from Manny, Louisiana.
Say Manny.
You have Gabriel Relaford, who you just flipped defensive lineman, again, position of need. Evangel Boy Jake, top 300 recruit, top 25 defensive lineman. So, look, one of the main things that BK did when he came in was wanted to make and kind of reestablish some of those North Louisiana inroads and ties, and Coach O did as well. But, guys like Tackett Curtis and whatnot kind of started to fray there at the end, and BK looks like he has rebuilt some of that connective tissue. Out of state, I know you've talked about this guy a lot, Taylor, but I do find Caden Durham to be very exciting. This is a running back commit, top 10 running back in the entire country. Again, another top 150 player. He's from Duncanville, Texas. How about this? Back-to-back state champ, Jake, in the state championship game.
Oof.
22 carries, 231 yards, and 3 touchdowns in a 49-33 game.
Yeah.
So, a game where they weren't just rolling over this team. He had to perform like that to win a state championship. And, of course, his teammate is DeCorian Moore. So is DeCorian Moore 2025?
Yes.
Okay. And that's a 5-star wide receiver that is very loosely committed to LSU. He's committed to LSU on paper, but then, talks about top 3 and top 5 and everything. So you're in the running for him. But still, Caden Durham seems like an exciting running back prospect coming over from the state of Texas to add to this team in Frank Wilson's room.
Yeah, he took over that state championship game. If you haven't seen the highlights, just go to Twitter and just Google or search. God, I sound so old. Just search his name, and you will see it. It'll pop up right there. And it's a player that's a little bit different than some of the backs that you've had. He's 5'9", like 192, right? And LSU, no matter the coach, they've kind of had some bigger backs for the most part, and that's kind of what you have on this roster with all the backs that you have. They're bigger backs, and we saw some of the young guys get a chance to play this year, so he can be kind of a change of pace back as well.
Colin Hurley is your quarterback commit in the class, just played in the Army All-American game. The thing that I like about Colin Hurley is that he has been really, really all in on LSU throughout the entire process. Now, I'll be fascinated because, like, more and more nowadays, well, I think we mentioned this yesterday's show, maybe, like, I think when you commit out of high school, you still sometimes do commit to just like a school that you loved or a brand, regardless of a coach, because you grew up loving them. I think if you're in the transfer portal, you're generally making more business decisions about, okay, money and also playing time, right? So I'll be interested to see, because nobody transfers more than quarterbacks. Like, it's obviously that Colin Hurley has deep, true love for LSU. I'm just interested to see his career play out and how that translates to, does he stay here if he doesn't win starting jobs? Does it lead to him winning the starting job because he has some sort of deeper level of command? I don't know. But if nothing else, I love how vocal of a leader Hurley's already been with this class throughout the entire process.
He's kind of been the guy, and every class has one where you try to get as many guys to come with you, right? And every class kind of has a leader and is a voice and does his best recruiting job. And he's been committed since November the 4th of 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is a guy that's been committed for a very long time, over a year, and he's kind of been the pinpoint kind of guy when it comes to trying to get everybody else to come and join this class. And he's a top 20 quarterback. I know there's been other quarterbacks that LSU has maybe flirted with when it comes to recruiting, but he stayed rock solid for LSU. So he's a good player, and I think he has to understand that every year a place like LSU is going to add a quarterback. They added one through the portal a couple days ago with Swan. Yeah. You know that they've got Collins already, who's only a year ahead of you, and you know they're going to add one again next year. And in fact, they kind of look like they might have a lead on the number one quarterback in the country.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, that's just football. That's every single position has to deal with that every single year. Any other great takeaways, Taylor, Mario? I think sometimes you guys are more tapped into recruiting than we are. Any other great takeaways from this LSU class, some angles you don't think we've discussed yet?
For me, it's a receiver in this class. And if you're like, who has the most boom potential, or boom or bust, if you will, in this class, it's probably Jelani Watkins, the 4-star receiver out of Texas. He is blazing fast. He's a little undersized. He's 5'9", 160. But, I mean, T-Bob, it's like we talk about with the big defensive linemen. Oh, they're bigger and stronger than anybody in high school. They may have awful technique. It's the same thing with a route runner, right? I mean, he's faster than everybody. So his routes, though, he runs really good routes. I mean, just sharp cuts. So not only can he beat you with his speed, he is a really good route runner as well. He has good hands. He's a guy that I've watched a few times when his games have been on TV. So Jelani Watkins from Texas, he's a guy that I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah, top 300 recruit, top 50 receiver, according to consensus. So, returner potential there, yeah. LSU, I mean, we got to find one eventually, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot out there. Eventually, you got to find one guy who can field kicks and become a threat in the return game. Though, oh boy, who's the receiver that they just signed from?
Oh, Xavier Thomas.
Yeah, Xavier Thomas is kind of the upperclassman that you would think would slot right into that role through the portal. All right, we'll get to your takes next. Okay, go ahead.
Real quick, one point on a guy that we might not find our way to circle back on. Ahmad Bro from Ruston is somebody that I'm intrigued by. I've heard about this guy for a long time. He's an edge guy, 6'2", 250 pounds. But I'm interested because, well, you just won a state championship for Ruston, their first one since 1990 or 91, I believe. But he's been coached by Kyle Williams during his high school career. Kyle Williams, the defensive coordinator, for Ruston High there. Of course, LSU legend, played a billion years in the NFL at an incredibly high level, made the Pro Bowl every single year. And that's somebody that he might not get the fanfare. He's 663rd in the country. And I realize a lot of people, once they get to the 3-star guys, they roll their eyes and they don't want to continue on. This is somebody that, just because of, I've seen him play, I think he's a really good player, but also who he's been coached by during his high school career. There's things that he probably already has a step above some of the guys coming in his class, and that's somebody to pay attention to that's maybe not going to get, talked about. Again, like, I wanted to make sure we got that point in because we might not talk about him down the road here, but I think he could be a player that you can see the technique. Again, he's got the size, and kind of call him a shot, diamond in the rough in the class. I'm going to call my shot here today.
I talked to we talked to Brooks Austin on Snaps yesterday. He's a Georgia insider, And
Y'all talk Georgia?
Yeah, imagine that. I mean, we're really he doesn't like being labeled as a Georgia insider. You know, he does keep up with the national scene, but he is also like a Georgia insider. And he talked about that even as nice, and obviously Georgia's the number one class again, but that even as nice as all the 5 stars and everything are, that still the most successful recruiting classes are the ones where you find that those in-state hidden gems that are buried for whatever reason that you have access to that other schools do not, and so you're hitting that untapped potential. And that's like you have to be willing to take those 3-star guys that are in on you that you know that others don't, and he would fit. Ahmad Bro would fit that profile. And as we see, there's always one that comes away, shocks you, and it's generally the in-state guy that was added to the class somewhere late. Or maybe, you know, the one that was like early because he just always wanted to go to LSU, and so as soon as he got the offer, he was like, yeah, absolutely, I'm there. But again, another 318 cat in this class. So you got 10 of the top 12 guys in state, maybe 11 once we get to February. It seems like LSU reportedly did not continue to pursue Wardell Mack for whatever reason, but they have stayed very much in on Dominic McKinley, and whoever the new D-line coach is, role number 1, I think job number 1 when he gets it, or one of the main ones, is going to be making a hard push for McKinley come February. So that's the LSU class. When we get back, we can look around at some of the other classes. We still got to get into last night's Pelicans game, as well as Ja Morant in his return breaks the heart of Pelicans fans. The Pels blowing a 24-point lead. But Ja Morant with a game winner that was so impressive that, well, as angry as you are, you almost can't help but be impressed in a lot of ways. And I want to make fun of Florida. So look forward to that, Jake. Coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to K2Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com. That's K2Zblinds.com, and take advantage of Brandon Barton's 25 years worth of experience, okay? If you're looking to take your outdoor living space to the next level, you have like a living room, theater room, man cave, woman cave, baby room, bedroom, whatever. Functional upgrades, aesthetic upgrades, they're one and the same. And Brandon Barton's going to come out to your home, give you that free estimate, and give you exactly, lay out a plan using all of his experience to get your window coverings that wow.
One of the things that, and my wife told me I needed to say this in the read today, is, the new screen that we have can do a lot of different things as far as the shade, but also, like when we put it down, we can kind of leave one of our back doors open. Our dog can kind of go back and forth, and we don't have to worry about little critters getting in because we had the door open, because we've got the screen down. So, I mean, so many different things it can do for you. It's already done it for us. K to Z, go to K to Z today.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $10,000 off new Jeep Grand Cherokee, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best.
Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch. The original walk-ons, Burbank at Nicholson. Scott Rabelais will be with us along with Wes Reynolds and professional sports handicapper Randy McKay. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ooh, Merry Christmas, Christmas comes this time each year. Well, way up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale about Christmas that you've all been told. And a real famous cat all dressed up in red, and he spends the whole year working out in his sled. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yeah, gingerbread cakes last night, boys. Not gingerbread houses. We got this metal gingerbread cake mold that comes with a little metal gnome and a little storybook about Tumty. Tumty the gnome. Funny name. Love it. And you bake the gnome into the cake, and you have 2 cakes, and you don't know which one the gnome's in, and the kids cut it and they find the gnome after they decorate. It's awesome. Very fun. Very festive. Y'all are watching too many sports. Like, what did I do? I didn't watch Jaws Return last night. I didn't watch Pelicans Grizz, okay? What I watched Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell as we
watched
bake said cakes.
Monarch with Kurt Russell.
I don't think Monarch's a
Godzilla?
Christmas movie.
No, but it's about Godzilla. But I watched it. It's on Apple.
I still want to watch the new Godzilla -0 movie.
Like, it goes back, and his actual son plays him, like in the 50s, and then Kurt Russell's the.
Again, though, I think this is why.
Yeah, you said Kurt Russell.
Yeah, but I think this is why you're maybe struggling to get in that Christmas mood. Have you watched a single Christmas movie yet?
Not even Die Hard.
Have you drank any whiskey while watching a Christmas movie yet? And
no.
the trees lit right off your peripheral vision. I mean, what are we doing here then, guys? You want Christmas to come to you? You can't meet it halfway. I used to talk about this in college all the time. There's 2 type of peoples. There's your party passive people and your party active people. Okay, some people just want everybody to get the kegs and line up the beer pong table and just do all the work, and they just want to show up. Those are your party passive people. If that's all we had, there would never be any fun parties, okay? I was always party active.
Okay.
Actively recruiting, buying kegs, getting beer, lining up speakers to play, making sure we have balls and cups and whatnot. And yes, was my house in Beaupre just a degenerate mess that actually had bar tar on the ground and a litter box in the kitchen in the open air for some reason? Yeah, it was weird and it was disgusting. But you know what? People still showed up. There's a lot of lazy party passive people that want everybody else to do the work. So you got to start meeting Christmas halfway here, boys, okay? Is anybody feeling the spirit?
I'm starting to. I think I'm going to consume some
Guys,
Christmas
it's
stuff
the
today.
20th.
I know. Honestly,
running out of time.
That's kind of the benchmark. 20th.
You know what would have probably helped? Going to the Nutcracker. Anyway, continue. What, Taylor?
We had the Grinch on last night in the background.
There we go.
You know, although, you're going to be surprised to hear this because I love eggnog. I don't think I've had any this year.
Wait, what?
I don't think I've had any eggnog this year or cider or anything like that.
You need your holiday drink of choice. For me, it's just straight whiskey.
Well, okay, so this weekend we went to Andy's eggnog milkshake. Phenomenal.
Andy's is
Andy's eggnog milkshake, delicious.
Okay, I do love their custard.
It's a little bit so that they just do vanilla ice cream and eggnog. I mean, super simple.
Oh yeah, I love their vanilla.
Yeah,
I like keep it simple,
ice
stupid.
cream? Is it custard? Is there a difference? Does it matter?
No, there's a big difference.
Okay, because I love the texture. It's very silky smooth on the tongue.
Yeah, Katie's family actually used to have a custard shop. They know all about custard.
Really?
In her family, yeah.
What's the difference between custard and ice cream?
It's fattier. Like there's more fats in custard. I think it's the eggs.
Makes sense why I like it more.
Maybe eggs is involved.
Jake,
there.
have you ever
They told me
have you ever
and I always forget.
Eat custard and like call it ice cream intentionally, and they just get like furious?
I know better. It's custard. It's different.
I just think that'd be a funny argument. Like the first time you go meet her family, she's like, "Do not bring up ice cream. We do custard only.
We don't eat ice cream in this house. Damn it."
Yeah. Well, luckily I didn't know what custard was when I was 18 and I started dating Katie. So.
When you mentioned ice cream, did they custard you out? Did her father custard you out?
Oh, dang it, Bobby.
The Florida class is falling apart. So Billy Napier not only lost 5 games in a row to end last year, and not only has just an impossible schedule, but like the one saving grace for Billy Napier this entire time was that he had a top 5 recruiting class. That, okay, whatever, the future looks bright. They're building facilities. They got a ton of 5-star committed. It's all good. Well, first off, ever since how about this, boys? Ever since the portal period opened up, Billy Napier's lost half of his original signing class.
Oh, Billy.
Literal half of his original signing class. And now that recruiting class, that much ballyhooed recruiting class.
Yeah, the one that basically they've kind of propped up to try to save face.
Yes. They've lost top prospects now to Georgia, Auburn, Texas, and Miami. Fringe 5-star safety Xavier Filsamami, I don't know how to say his name, flipped to the Longhorns on Monday. Auburn is making a late great push for defensive lineman L.J. McCray. You have a 4-star defensive lineman Amaris Williams, who Miami's going after, as well as a Darius Hayes. And then even their 5-star quarterback, DJ Lagway, who's supposed to be the centerpiece, the crown jewel. If all else, Lagway's holding firm. He even said so a couple of days ago. Well, now there is a ton of smoke on the street that he's on flip watch as he both Texas A&M and USC are making very hard pushes on him. And, well, USC desperately needs a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And when Lincoln Riley comes calling, he wants you to play quarterback for him, and he's desperate, you got to listen to the man. So Billy Napier already feels like a dead man walking because of that schedule. He could watch this top 5 signing class turn into an outside the top 10 signing class, losing all of its 5 stars.
You lose your quarterback, you're out of the top 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so
Lagway goes, you're done.
Napier will not be fired for this, but he will officially resemble that of a shambling corpse if today goes as badly as it looks like it might.
Yeah, we've talked about Dylan Raiola so much because of what he brings to Nebraska, and Georgia fans were so excited because he seemed like he was the surefire number 1 quarterback in this class, and that's not even the case. Like, Lagway is actually rated ahead of him on 3. Like, he's the number 2 quarterback in this class. And so this would be a major loss for the Florida Gators. And this isn't a situation where he's from Jacksonville or he's from somewhere in the Panhandle and Florida makes a lot of sense and you can keep him in state and maybe you can use that to fight the good fight here at the end. I mean, he is from Texas. And so Texas A&M and others, right, it feels like they got a pretty good opportunity to continue to kind of, you know, whisper things here
in Florida. Like, if
there.
other schools are going to pay you as much, would you imagine USC and A&M could, like, why would you go to Florida?
Well, I mean, I'd ask myself, why would anybody go to Florida? But that's just me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but especially in the context of who it is, where they're at right now. The best players that are on the team currently are leaving. coaches getting fired. It's not like Billy Napier. I mean, yeah, he got Graham Mertz to play pretty well, but like, if I'm a quarterback, do you think Billy Napier gives me a better chance to? And now USC has its own problems. Don't get me wrong. USC, I mean, Corey Foreman just entered the portal as well. Like USC's having its own.
We talked about that
Corey
guy
Foreman so much.
Like
I know, dude.
he was Aaron Donald.
Yeah, and has he done anything? I actually don't know.
No, he's actually dropped, I think, 2-star. I think he's a 3-star in the portal. He's was
a
5-star.
number one player in the entire country. Wow.
I'll have to go double check that. But so that's kind of what I was talking about.
Either way, again, like, who's going to give you a better chance to develop as a quarterback, Lincoln Riley or Billy Napier? And then for A&M, they're just in desperate need that Mike Elko says, hey, stay home, become that hero, and let's start this new era together. Taylor, pull over. Okay.
I'm trying to think when's like the last time that Lincoln Riley, like what's the last high school quarterback? By the way, Foreman is a 3-star from a 5-star.
Wow.
When's the last time that he had a high school guy that he actually developed? And I mean, Caleb Williams kind of, because he was, right? I mean, he was there at Oklahoma and went to USC, but like he's had more success bringing in guys in the portal. Like, yeah. I would assume like he's trying to sell all of that, but also like he probably wants to have his own quarterback that he develops and has the opportunity to go out there in the same spot and not pull somebody out of the portal because
he just has to be good enough. I mean, it seems like he didn't think Malachi Nelson was good enough.
He's the number one quarterback in the country, so like some of that falls on Nelson for sure, but does some of that fall on Lincoln Riley is kind of what I'm getting at. Like as far as taking a quarterback out of high school, being in the same spot together, developing him.
I think it's just so hard to judge intangibles in high school, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You make a good point, though, because people look back at Oklahoma like Baker was at Texas Tech for a year, because that was my first thought. I was like,
Baker, Kyler,
yeah, and then
Jalen
Murray, Jalen Hurts.
Caleb Williams, he was there from the entire time, but different spots.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, look at LSU. Your Heisman winners were not guys developed.
Oh yeah,
house.
no.
It's like it's all over the country. But you still, still go get the Max Preps quarterback of the year if you can.
Right. No. I'm saying like I'm asking just the question like, do we think that Lincoln is just better suited to develop a guy who's a little bit older?
I don't know. I think that him basically not overcommitting to Malachi Nelson though makes me feel good about his quarterback evaluation, and saying that, and maybe he's wrong on Nelson. But I feel like him still being like, nah, he's not good enough, and not just like falling in love with like however much they're paying him or the pressure feels like maybe he's being pretty objective with that position. But I don't know. Bad vibes around USC as well. If they get DJ Lagway, they go a long way towards improving the vibes.
At SC right now, I know we got to take a break. Damani Jackson was a 5-star coming in. He's now a 3-star in the portal. Corey Foreman was a 5-star coming in, now a 3-star in the portal. These are all defensive players. Tackett Curtis was a 4-star coming in, now a 3-star in the portal. Now higher rated than Corey Foreman as far as what level of 3-star. I mean, it was poison for you to go to USC and play defense.
I would say, so at a certain point, too, we got to question the development there, the coaching, the same way we do at LSU. All right, when we get back, let's close at hour one of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org. Flat rate pricing, great warranty coverage. Once the work is done, everybody's licensed, bond insured, you get bios. And sent to you ahead of time about who's coming in your home. It's not just repairs, but it's remodels, upgrades. Look, whatever you need on the plumbing front, Central Plumbing's been doing it for 50 years. And you don't grow in the way they have unless your customers are consistently satisfied with what you're giving them. So check it out today. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Go tankless today with that tankless water heater. Never run out of hot water again. You're like me and our crew, you get home late from the ball field, dance, whatever it might be, and you still got to shower, you got to do the dishes, you got to do the laundry, and a lot of times you got to wait because you got to wait for hot water. Not if you go tankless. If you go tankless, you never run out of hot water again. So go ahead, give them a call today, set up that appointment, 225-925-8552.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This Sunday, as we bring you 3 different NFL games, we start off with Colts-Falcons. Immediately following that, it is Cowboys and Dolphins. And then finally, the Patriots at Broncos. Tune in this Sunday to hear all 3 of those games here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You're not going to lose me money. Yeah, you can definitely steal that. You're welcome. Welcome back to OTB. I'm trying to catch up to chat here. Let's do this while I catch up. Taylor, our boots on the ground correspondent. LSU has now 3 official signees. Again, all 27 expected to sign today. What do we got so far?
Yeah, so the first one was Gabriel Relaford. We talked about that during the break. The 4-star from Shreveport. Y'all mentioned him earlier. C.J. Jackson, the 4-star defensive end from Georgia. And then Ethan Callaway, 6'7", 300-pound offensive tackle, actually played on the O-line with Colin Hurley in that Army All-American game over the weekend. So they're already,
I saw them. That's who you're taking the picture with.
They're already familiar with each other. So Ethan Callaway, C.J. Jackson, Gabriel Relaford are all Tigers.
Emil Klutz says T-Bob sees that Lane's pouting and his track record with transfers got an Ole Miss resource behind NIL for portal players, a high-risk, high-reward situation. Yeah, to be clear, Ole Miss has decided to build through the portal. They do okay, kind of supplement through high school, kind of the reverse of what a lot of people are doing. And I don't dislike the idea, though, of using the vast majority of your NIL money for portal players because these are more known commodities. Whereas you pay a high school player, he may never work out, and then like what? Where you're just pissing in the wind.
Yeah, we don't have great numbers yet because it's still somewhat new. We don't have the case study of if you build through the portal 5 years down the road, it's this.
Yeah,
like we don't have that now because we haven't been in this game long enough. Like your depth and some different things. Like if you only build through the portal, like those younger players, if you have a year where you have injuries, like how does that affect you?
And they mentioned he says Lane's pouting. I don't think of it as pouting. It's recruiting. It's fundraising. Like he's just saying we need money. You want these players? We need money, and it works.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com, restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. Flustering coming up next, y'all. It's going to be a ton of fun. Look, treat the effects of untreated aging. It's weird. We just expect our bodies to age on their own and do what they will, right? But like you don't do that to your home or your computer or your car or anything else like that. So why not, upkeep your body in the same way? Go to Rejuve, get your labs done, get the free consultation, and let them put together a plan for you. Maybe it's HRT, maybe it's semaglutide, maybe it's not. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Yeah, if you watched Chad Pennington versus Josh McCown's son play each other in a bowl game yesterday and it made you feel old like it did me, just go get those levels checked. Over at Rejuve Me Medical, you can go to that website, find a full list of conditions that they can treat for you. But look, if you got something going on, you won't know unless you get that consultation set up. RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Bayou Ford is taking $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford Expedition. $15,000 off new Ford Expedition. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Wednesday, December 20th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 66. Coming up on OTB, Matt Flynn joins the show in studio. Up next, Tom VanHaaren of ESPN comes on at 8:30, and we talk to Billy Embody of On3 Sports at 9 a.m. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in, OTB. OTB. Rolling right along. Hour 2 on a Wednesday. And it feels like it's been a while since I've seen this man because I was out of town. He was out of town. Matt Flynn.
Hey, buddy.
Is in the building for some Fletcher. What's up, dog?
Not much. Yeah, I missed last week, and then was it the week before?
I think
you were out of here.
Yeah. Hey,
me and Hester did the show. It wasn't that good though.
Actually, I know you just say that just like to try to throw shade. Actually, we kind of reverted back to when we started doing radio together. I actually enjoyed the hour. It was
as opposed to what?
No,
we talked about talked about no sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we went back and like it was kind of like a meth gator conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And like typically, we talk a little.
We contemplated why the sky was blue.
That's what it was.
That's not hard to understand.
Yeah, but it
kind of is.
It is. See, that's why. That's why we didn't need you here that day because you tried to act smarter than.
What?
The rest
You don't
of
believe
us.
in God? Because he made the sky blue. Wow, atheist Matt Flynn was not what I had on my bingo card today. Unreal, dude. You ever read Genesis, dog? Open a book.
Wow.
We
just went biblical.
Okay, actually, why is the sky blue? Let me figure it out.
We said oxygen.
Like
the oxygen. Something to do with the oxygen, and it turns blue.
Parallax effect of the light.
They had me
filtering through the
look it
atmosphere?
up. It was something of like
exactly. See, you could have
in
enjoyed
the
our
atmosphere with
conversation.
oxygen. Like it shoots out every color, but blue like doesn't go as far.
It
or
just
something,
it has to just be something about the light being filtered through the atmosphere. Right?
And blue just shows up better.
All right, that's cool.
But we're
Basically what it
watching
boils
this
down
one
to.
show
Talked about it for
now
30
on.
minutes.
I think it's on Disney Plus. It's or the National Geographic. It's called I think it's called One Strange Rock or something like that. Will Smith narrates it, and from a molecular level, it explains like every part of the Earth and how it was created, and it talks about why the sky is blue.
That's pretty cool.
And I saw this after that show, and it just blew my mind.
You know
I
what
don't
else you
retain a lot
saw?
of things though, so I can't really tell you.
You know what else you saw? And I'd like to thank you for it. You saw the Nutcracker this weekend.
I did.
At least one person in this room came to support his boy as the Purple Party Dad. Did you enjoy the overall show?
We did enjoy it. So we went with a couple of friends. We brought the kids. Here, my only regret I have is the tickets we bought were front row balcony. And if you know, we got three kids.
Yeah.
8, 6, and 3. And then we went with some of their friends and their parent friends of ours. And
so the entire time you were worried they were going to be the Dudley boys and jump from the balcony down.
So they're
to
like sitting there leaning on the balcony and like jumping around. And we brought binoculars so they could see like the dancers and things, and they're holding these binoculars that are kind of heavy because they're hunting binoculars.
You could kill someone dropping those off the balcony.
I just kept envisioning like them just imprinting someone top of their skull or my children falling. So
you don't think that was a little extra? I mean, they're good seats. You got a great sight lines.
Bro, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't think you did it right. Is my point. I think you did it wrong.
I wanted to see your face as close as I could get.
Well, there's a lot of good over theatrical extra acting.
There was. You were really good with
close.
your hands. Like your
You
hands
could see his
were
hands
like,
from up there?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
What kind of binoculars did you have?
I saw his arms
My
moving. I figured there was a hand there.
Desist.
What kind of binoculars did you have?
But it's a beautiful production. It really is. So many talented dancers.
It was very good. The dancing was great.
You got to love a live score from the BR Symphony. Shout out.
They were good. They were really good.
Obviously.
That the kids being young, they kind of laughed at. I can't remember the character's name or whoever it is, but the man with tights. my kids were like laughing.
Yeah, what is he, the Sugar Plum Fairy?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
it was a really good dancer.
No, I mean, well, those are the actual pros, right?
Yeah,
a lot of
they're
it.
actually-
There's real lifelong ballerina and ballerino professionals mixed in amongst students who have also been doing it for their entire lives and are great as well. But you have your pros mixed in amongst people like me, which I'd be on the lowest of that totem pole, the rank amateur.
You did good. A lot of I think you faked a good belly laugh at one point or a chuckle.
A lot of extra acting. That was the most fun part. What do you think about my dance moves?
Really good. Really good.
Couldn't come up with a single other adjective except for really good. Literally the most vapid, empty statement you could possibly offer a person. It's like when Jeff Lebby was asked about why he wanted to be head coach at Ole Miss or at Mississippi State, and he was like, because Mississippi State is great and cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude.
Yeah, what? Great and cool.
Swag. State is cool.
You get like really into like a particular words on the show. Like recently, I've heard you say feckless like 1,000 times.
Feckless has always been.
That's not.
Feckless has been.
But nobody says that, right? Except for you.
Feckless is getting called in from the bullpen. When you have a defense like what we just witnessed, I'm sorry if Feckless gets called in from the pen every now and then.
Yeah, but nobody has ever used that word besides you. I feel like.
Is it on the word bank? I think it is. I think feckless.
Do you have like
word bank? Yeah.
I remember like someone for a gag gift one time gave me like a toilet paper roll where every square toilet paper has like a new like SAT or ACT word on it, and you just memorize it.
That's the weird.
Is that what you do?
But
like
you
just
did I just
word of the
find
day for
T-Bob's Christmas gift?
But who in the
Mm-hmm.
hell is using single squares of toilet paper
That's fair
it's a
too.
good, it's a good
in the
point.
bathroom? Like
Very
you're
fair.
just going to skip over like 10 to 20 words each time.
Yep.
Well, if you go 20 words, you got to call Central Plumbing.
No, I mean,
That's a
come
lot
on.
of
You
words.
don't just hit an eyes like,
Wow.
yeah.
I remember one time when I was little.
That's why you got the number on speed dial.
I don't know how old I was, like 4 or 5 maybe, and it's just one of those memories you have. My grandmother was babysitting me, and I was in the restroom, and she was, I was a young kid helping out, whatever, and I was like, can I have some toilet paper? And she gave me 2 squares.
What?
And I was like, can I have some more?
Please, sir.
May I have some more, please?
No, have
And she
another.
handed me 2 more squares.
A little Matt Oliver twist. Please, can I get 2 more squares, madam?
And I think I was probably sitting on like one of those cushion toilets.
Oh, there's no doubt it's a cushion. Do y'all remember cushion toilet
Oh
seats?
God, the most bacteria infested type of toilet.
Wait, so were you going to
Comfortable.
say,
Yeah, very
well,
comfortable.
no, I think fur-covered toilet seats
That's true.
are the
That's true.
actual.
What,
fur in bathrooms in general,
Yeah.
or carpet in bathrooms.
Yeah, the
Well,
carpet
they-
used to
so
go
the-
around the toilet.
They'd go around the lid though. It wouldn't go around the actual seat.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I thought I've seen fur seats before. Am I
No,
making
no,
that
that
up?
used to go on the lid
Oh,
that you
okay,
opened
okay.
up.
I thought I
yeah.
saw
If
fur
you had a
seats.
fur like
Why
lid,
does it have
you had a
Why?
cushion seat though.
Who
And
invented
then-
like
that?
cushion seats.
And then
either.
you had the fur like little foot thing that goes around it that
Yeah.
wrapped around the base that
Yeah.
probably caught a lot of
A lot of
reflections.
strays.
I just
a
need
lot of strays.
hard, cleanable surfaces everywhere in my bathroom.
Yeah, I think.
Nothing absorbent.
Uh-huh.
Wait, so do you think vapid? Is vapid a word that I'm overusing? Is that where you were
I
getting
hadn't
at then?
used
I've
it
never
as
heard
much,
you
but it
say
sounds like
vapid.
you.
Vapid?
I hadn't heard that.
You've
Like
not
I
said
feel
that.
like I listen to the show, every day when
yeah,
I
every
go
day,
to work.
3 hours a day. I agree. Yeah.
But I've heard you use feckless so many times.
Because we talk about the LSU defense, dude. I don't know what
Like,
else to tell
I'm
you.
like, how many times can he say it? Like, if I'm only listening to a couple of segments a day, like in 3 hours, how many times are
I
you
was
saying
saying feckless, hapless, and
Right?
DICK-less, which I thought was very funny. But, no, I probably average 1 feckless per 2 shows, I would say.
I would disagree with you.
Flummox was one
I'm
that you
telling you,
used
I've
for a while.
I've listened to
Yeah.
2 segments
heard
every
it-
day,
so
and
I
I've
was-
heard it almost every day.
Mary Beard, who is an excellent
Shout out, Mary.
Roman historian, SPQR's all-time good, if you want to read that. She came out with a book, I think it's just called Emperor. I'm listening to it right now. And she had a sentence that said advertently or inadvertently. And it got me thinking, why do we never say advertently?
Yeah.
We only ever say inadvertently, right? like accidentally, right? Like you
Right, so
inadvertently did
on purpose.
Yeah. Why don't
Yeah.
he advertently did this thing? Or he did this thing advertently, I guess is how you would use it. I mean, it doesn't feel great coming off the tongue It's just weird to me that the inverse of a word could become the thing that we all use where we don't use its root anymore.
Yeah. I'll just blame me being redneck, and I don't use big words.
He did it on purpose.
That's a good question, yeah.
Hey, that fella did it on purpose, all right? That's how I would probably say that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. So the story, you know how I told you I got into the YouTube murder confession hole? I watched a YouTube video about this 15-year-old that killed his mother, and it was like his interrogation essentially, is all the video was. And he had this real dark, horrifying sociopathic turn where when he finally admits it, you could tell he just has no remorse. Like a real disturbing level psychopath. And I was like, whoa, that was crazy. I'm going to watch another one. And this is what a 15-year-old who killed his whole family. It's awful. Father, mother, 2 little brothers. It's unreal. So I watched the whole 2-hour interrogation.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So I've been balancing it with like It's a Wonderful Life.
Sure.
To like it's like the chaser after the shot.
Yeah, it's like drinking a little water after the shot.
Yes, exactly. But
advertent murder.
Yes. But there wasn't the sociopathic turn I was expecting in this one. He seemed to feel awful, horrible. He seemed to feel some sort of remorse afterwards. But then I guess the reason I'm getting at all this is I later Googled his name. He's now been in jail for 15 years. He was 15 when he went in. And he won an award for like an essay that he wrote on his life in jail. And he's an incredible writer. He's an incredible writer and has unreal vocabulary usage.
He's got a lot of time on his
words
hands.
together.
So
Absolutely. And he talks about all that. And he goes out of his way to
idol
almost as
of
a
yours?
constant refrain, every paragraph be like, I deserve everything that I have done to myself in this life. But he raises some very interesting philosophical questions about, can you, when you are a juvenile ever, like, can you learn to feel remorse and all this? It was just, I guess I was struck by the quality of his writing. He was using words that I had never seen dropped in so expertly or casually. Nicholas Browning is his name if you ever want to dive into this hole. It was a weird hole, but it had a lot of unexpected turns. But awful at the end of the day. And so I don't, just because you're a good writer doesn't mean that anybody should feel anything for you.
Damn.
Really good
So
words,
true.
though.
So true.
Really good words, though. What have you been watching on YouTube?
I don't really watch YouTube. My kid's been watching Minecraft videos.
Hell yeah.
How's that?
That's cool.
That's better than like
Roblox?
Coco Melon or something,
It's way better than Coco
Melon.
Melon.
Yeah.
Coco Melon is the worst.
Yeah.
I don't even know where we go from that story.
From Nicholas Browning?
Yeah, the murder story.
I could read excerpts of his
No,
essay called
no,
Little
no.
Flowers.
No.
All right. Then
You
let's
guys
just go
excited
to,
for Santa?
I know where we're going to go. Yeah, I'm super pumped for Santa. I love Santa.
But how did you stumble upon that story? I guess.
So
is
it's
my
a
main
very
question.
so the original one it's a very watched video, right? The Browning one had 20 million views. The other one had like 4 million or something.
Yeah.
And so it just showed up and I clicked on it on a whim and then I was like, got that dark fascination.
Sure.
But then after I finished the Browning one, I was like, man, that just ended up being sad all the way around. Like that didn't even have the like psychopathic payoff. And then I started Googling and reading it. Just I don't know.
Like I heard you talking about you being the only person in the Christmas spirit here, but like, how do you get into murder confessions when you're in the Christmas spirit?
Tough to say.
Yeah.
Tough
It
to
just
say.
randomly popped up, like, or did you?
Because one second I'll be driving and listening to that, and then
Yeah.
the next second I'll get to the office and I'll put on Harry Potter Christmas Ambient World playlist or some
Harry
old
Potter
crooners.
Christmas Ambient World.
Yeah, Ambient Worlds is another YouTube channel where he creates like whatever you're into, whatever movie or whatever that you love their music. He creates like a little soundtrack to play in the background where maybe it's got some like crackling fire effects, some like snowfall effects, little birds
I've been
chirping.
doing the Christmas lo-fi playlist.
Yeah, Christmas Lo-Fi is great. That's another one. If you need to be in the zone and work,
Fantastic at the office.
it's awesome.
Really good.
I know what I'm playing next.
Christmas
Christmas
Lo-Fi?
lo-fi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some good stuff.
I'm
I'm a big pentatonics guy.
You were a
as
big
well.
Christmas Trap a couple of years ago.
Oh, big Christmas trap guy.
Yeah.
Got to have a drop.
Yeah. You do love a drop.
Mario loves
Who
Christmas Trap.
doesn't love a drop, dude?
Fair.
I'm not the
Kidding
biggest
me?
Christmas Trap guy. I'm going Christmas caroling night.
I mean, it's kind of like a big word. Like,
Well, that's how you got in the Christmas
Around the
spirit.
neighborhood.
You're going Christmas caroling?
Just you?
Are you dressing up?
No, not
Bob?
just me.
Are you dressing up?
Is Bob
one of
going?
my neighbors, Matt, is going to have a little trailer with some speakers hooked up, and we're going to go drinking and caroling.
That honestly sounds fun as hell.
It is fun as hell.
I really
and I'll
wanna-
probably watch a video about a small village of people being murdered right before to really just like get myself ready.
Or in between houses.
Yeah, I was about to say you could just watch it as you're going.
Is that before or after the figgy pudding?
Still never had figgy pudding. Ironically, didn't we look this up the other day? No figs in figgy pudding?
I think so.
What's that about? You know? Airline food. Coming up next, more flustering. Keep it locked off the bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $10,000 off new Jeep Grand Cherokee, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
The countdown to Christmas is on. Take a break at Twin Peaks and bring the crew for a holiday celebration. Need some last-minute gifts? Grab a Twin Peaks gift card in store through December 24th and score a bonus card for yourself valid in January. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Cut through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2.
Join me for a What If Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. JD Piquel from 1-3 Sports talking college football, and it's National Signing Day for the Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
So evergreen in wintertime. Summertime, nice. Still evergreen in wintertime.
This is the kind of music you could just kind of play in the background while we're talking. The whole show.
True. Very true. That might help set the Christmas mood.
I'm down.
I think the best for that, Lo-fi's not bad. I think you can't go wrong with Vince Guaraldi's Charlie Brown music. If you're just talking about background vibes for the show or at home as you're decorating or whatever it is you're doing to get in the Christmas spirit.
That song usually pops up on my lo-fi playlist, like untouched, like as is. They don't put like the fire crackling or anything in the background.
As you should. You don't have to when it comes to Vince Guaraldi. The man's incredible. Shout out
Vince.
Actually, I love the whole Charlie Brown Christmas special. I love all Charlie Brown holiday specials.
I heard someone talking about this the other day. Is the song Linus and Lucy a Christmas song?
To be fair, I listened to it throughout the fall, but if push came to shove, I would say yes. I would qualify it as a Christmas song.
Because it is, yeah.
Even though I started listening to Vince from Halloween on, is when I start cranking up the Vince Guaraldi playlist on Spotify, which is very good. You should absolutely check out.
I mean, I think Charlie Brown Christmas is probably the only one that I watch.
Thanksgiving Charlie Brown's pretty fire, dude.
Too.
When old Peppermint Patty's all obnoxious and inviting herself over for a Thanksgiving dinner, Charlie goes out of his way to make it, despite the fact he has to go to his grandma's, and she's like really rude about the entire deal. Also, I watched a version that had the full they had a full 30-minute cartoon of like the Pilgrims and settling America, and whew, boy, I didn't watch it in years. And you really forget how friggin' awful it must have been to be on that boat, to be on the Mayflower. I mean, we are talking months spent on the boat, not just traveling, but even after you get there, you can't get off the boat because there's no houses or anything. You just got to hang out on there. There's people are like dying, getting sick, cramped quarters, just awful, awful. But look at it now. America's doing pretty good.
Yep. The BO smell.
Yeah. Be awful.
No deodorant.
If you really want to just
makes you think,
dive into the seediness and have your mind blown with how miserable some human experience has been since the earth has been around, go listen to the Dan Carlin episode on the transatlantic slave trade, where he talks about how, so not only would you have slaves who would be chained side by side, just packed full into these boats that would then have to sail over. What is it to sail over? Isn't it like 2 months or something?
Something like
just
that.
to cross the Atlantic? Well, why don't you go ahead and tack on another 1 to 2 months as you're filling up the boat with people, and you're near the equator in some of the hottest weather in the entire world, off the coast of Africa, just sitting there chained up day after day with more and more people filling up, less and less socks, just the absolute most miserable, horrific things you could possibly imagine. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I think
Merry
Taylor wants to
Christmas,
have
right?
a update here.
We got a recruiting update? Let's see it. Who's signed?
Yeah, we got T-Bob's trusty fax machine is heated up. We got 6 new signees in the last 10 minutes. 2 guys we've already talked about, Colin Hurley and Jelani Watkins are on board. Also, Wallace Foster, the 3-star corner out of New Orleans. We got Devon Keys, the linebacker out of Texas. And then LSU's lone 5-star, Weston Davis, is also on board. So LSU now has 9 signees.
Wait, these are actual people signing?
Yeah, it's signing days now.
Right now?
Right now.
Today?
Early signing day.
Early signing, not national signing day, early signing day.
That makes sense.
How about it?
I hate recruiting.
How about some recruiting?
Why do you hate recruiting?
I don't know. It's annoying.
Would you agree with the take that recruiting doesn't matter on a player-by-player basis, but it does matter in aggregate? Like looking at the whole picture? Like player-by-player, they're going to go boom or bust, whatever, right? Like, I don't care. But, you do kind of need to be in the top 10 or around there if you're going to be competitive, no?
Unless you're Washington.
Yeah, Washington, Michigan would be exceptions to this rule. I mean, even Michigan's still, 18th?
Yeah, but
in this
I
class?
always question who's making these rankings. Like, who cares what some Joe Smo says?
Well, it's not. I mean, now, but if you're looking at a composite, you're not talking about any one individual. It would just be.
And then you got these guys. This guy's a 5-star because he's a 2A player at high school and dominates or whatever. It's like who's ranking these
32nd
kids?
right now. 32nd, Washington.
Yeah, for sure. Look, who are you talking to? I've been
Michigan
supporting Washington
16th.
this entire year.
I'm just giving you Michigan 16th.
I know that's what I just said. I said Michigan and Washington. Would be outliers.
And I'm giving you. You said Washington was 19th.
Michigan was 19th.
You said Washington, but I was. I'm just telling you, Michigan 16th and Washington's 32nd. Just reporting it.
I think the only thing for Kalen DeBoer to prove is post Michael Penix because they had so much success together at Indiana. But his overall coaching record would speak to him being able to find a quarterback, certainly. But who do you think is more set up for success heading to the Big Ten, Washington or Oregon? I feel like I want to answer Washington, but I have to. But unfortunately, I think I give a slight edge to Oregon.
Yet again, every time that we do this, people
Not
just
true. I backed Washington all year long.
I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about all the shows that we do. Everybody all week was like that week at the Pac-12 championship game just told us how it was going to play out. We're like, hold up, wait a minute. Washington beat them last time. They beat them last year as well, and they've won all these games in a row.
I agree.
I don't know. Right now, Oregon's got 16 4-stars and 7 3-stars committed to them. And then you look at Washington, and they've only got 6 4-stars and 9 3-stars. And so maybe they're going to build it different. Maybe they're going to do it a different way. Right? They only have 15 players right now committed to them. Maybe they're going to do a deep dive into the portal. I don't know.
Maybe so. That would make I could see Washington. That would make sense in terms of
going to a new conference, going to be new challenges. Try to bring in some new players.
I just think that Dan Lanning pulled off a couple good moves getting Gabriel and Dante Moore.
Without question.
Matt, how do you feel about Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets?
Who's that?
The Giants quarterback, Jersey native. Italian stallion.
Actually, I don't think you're lying.
Well, okay, the only reason I mention this is because we talked about Tommy DeVito doubling the price on that small restaurant and all the drama therein. Well, credit where credit's due. He ended up making an unpaid visit to Caniglios. So he ended up going and visiting the place and hanging out and doing the deal for free. Nice. After taking a bit of a PR, what you need to do. But what they do in that video, they make old-fashioned sodas where they pour the syrup in, ice in there, and then they're mixing it up as they're putting the soda water. Ooh, it looks good, dude. It looks damn good.
What are y'all talking about?
He's a quarterback for the Giants, and he had this.
Then he goes to Caniglios. What is that?
He was going to go there for $10,000.
What is Caniglios?
It's a restaurant up in Jersey.
It's a family restaurant in Jersey.
Okay.
He was going to make an appearance for $10,000, and apparently they changed the price to $20,000. And the restaurant,
because he's gotten hot lately.
He got hot.
He started playing and they won games.
Got it.
And the restaurant's like, hey, we can't really do that. We're stretched thin with 10.
Yeah.
And then so he called some heat for it, so he went and did it for free.
Yeah. But tell me that soda doesn't look freaking good right there, dude. It is a handcrafted soda right there at the soda machine like you were buying it from George Bailey back in 1934.
To his credit, he probably was not the person that said it's 20 now.
No, it was his very Italian agent, Sean Stellato.
You've missed all of this?
Huh?
All right. We got Tom VanHaaren coming up. We can take a break. I'll give him the rundown during the break.
All right, Tom VanHaaren next year. And,
is he a recruit?
Off the bench.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
org/athletics. Do you plan to travel, work part-time, or move somewhere warmer when you retire? At Edward Jones, we understand that no two retirement paths are the same. Contact your local financial advisor today.
In Baton Rouge, call Brandon Becknell. In Denham Springs, call Scott Landry. And in Plaquemine, call Kyle Robichaux.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, the chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hey, it's Matt Muscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. It's National Signing Day. Brian Kelly recaps the class, and we'll take a closer look at the Rams as the Saints head west. Join us 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
on, y'all? Welcome back. Off the bench here on 104.5 ESPN. And right now it's time to talk to Tom VanHaaren at Tom VH on Twitter. Covers recruiting for ESPN. All of college football, really. Not just recruiting, but it is recruiting day. Tom, what's up, man? Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Okay, I want to get some national insight from you, but first, give me the national perspective on this LSU class, right? It's a bit of a nuanced picture. Certainly a lot of good there, 12th in the country and all that, but then like 7th in the SEC. From a national view, how do you feel Brian Kelly's doing here in Baton Rouge when it comes to this 2024 class?
Yeah, it's ranked number 14th overall, like you said, probably middle of the pack in the SEC, but there are some good pieces. I mean, they've got 11 ESPN 300 commitments in the class, so it's not like there isn't talent there. There's a lot of good players. I think this is a filling needs kind of class for him and for this program, to where they're at a place where they can go out and get guys that they've developed relationships with, that they've had time to evaluate and scout. So, I mean, there's a lot to like. The top ranked player in the class, he's a tight end that's 6'6", 235 pounds, that I think is going to help create some mismatches. That's going to help in the passing game. They've got a top running back committed. They've got a 4-star quarterback, but you look at what they've done in the transfer portal as well. They've added to the secondary, which I think was a big need. They brought in a Texas A&M safety. They brought in AJ Swan from Vanderbilt at quarterback to try to fill a need there. So, it's not the highest ranked class. It's not super flashy, but I think they filled a lot of needs. They're getting help in the secondary. They're getting help up front along the defensive line, and they're adding some playmakers on offense as well.
And, Tom, we've been talking about it over the last couple of days and weeks. When you look at some teams trying to still do big things in high school recruiting, and then you've got others that are trying to maybe put all their resources into the transfer portal. Like, when you see some of the teams like Ole Miss, like, is that the best path for them, is in the portal? Because, like, high school recruiting, Ole Miss is never going to really compete with Georgia and Alabama and some of the other top teams in the SEC. And so when you're having these conversations, does it feel like some of these teams are going all in one way and not really splitting it down the middle and going 50 high school, 50 portal?
Yeah, there are some coaches that think that's the move for them. And, UCLA is one of those schools where if you look at what they do in high school recruiting, it's heavily transfer portal. I think Ole Miss is probably a really good example of that. Like you said, they're not going to be able to go out and compete every single year. So in the high school level. So if you can go and get transfers that are proven players. I mean, Princely Umanumelin, the defensive end from Florida, he was projected. He could have been an NFL draft pick this year.
Yep.
And now Ole Miss adds him to the mix, and you've got an immediate help in the pass rush game. You get Tyler Barron, an edge player from Tennessee. You've got two players now that are immediately going to help on defense. Guys that can come in right away and give you help. I mean, it was clear, very, very clear that Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator there at Ole Miss, wanted immediate help on the defensive side from what they've done. They've helped the secondary. Like we just mentioned, they've helped off the edge. If you can have success with that, then great. If you can find guys that fit your culture and fit your team, then great. But that can also be double-sided. If those guys don't blend well in the locker room and they don't mix, then you've got a problem. And, we saw a little bit of that at Michigan State when Mel Tucker was there. He tried to go all in on the portal, and that backfired on him. So there's a couple different schools of thought. You really have to balance it out, I think, and try to find the right mix.
Tom, what's the single most interesting story today in your mind? Like, what are you focused in on?
Well, there's a couple different things from the aspect of uncommitted recruits. I think this is interesting. Uncommitted prospects. I think we're probably going to see one player ranked in the top 100 announce his commitment today. That's an uncommitted player. That is incredible that we'll only see one uncommitted prospect ranked in the top 100 announced. That's remarkable. However, the big storyline that everybody's watching is the flip. and who's going to end up flipping their commitment. And we've got some 5-stars that could end up flipping. Wide receiver Jeremiah Smith, he's committed to Ohio State. Florida State's going to try to flip him. He's announcing at noon Eastern time. KJ Bolden is a 5-star safety committed to Florida State. Georgia and Auburn are trying to flip him. So I think what happened this cycle, guys, was the transfer portal has definitely impacted the high school recruit. And I think what we saw is more prospects, more high school prospects announced their commitment earlier and stuck with that commitment while also entertaining other schools to hold their spot, make sure that they had a scholarship because it could have been taken by a transfer player. A lot of kids jumped on board early on, stayed committed, looked around, and maybe end up flipping. So I think we saw this class especially was impacted by that transfer portal.
Tom, I know this is probably a tough one because there's so many players, but if I said, hey, give me a player out of high school and give me a player out of the portal, who do you think maybe is the most important signees in each high school and for which school, and then in the portal and for which school?
Oh, man, what a great question. So I think out of the portal, I love what Oregon did, and they got Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma. They got a proven quarterback that can come in and help replace Bo Nix. But then what they also did was they got UCLA freshman quarterback Dante Moore as well. So they went and got a quarterback right now and a quarterback for the future. I think that set them up really, really well to transition into the Big Ten and help make it so that there's no drop off for them. And then the high school player that I think I'm really intrigued by that I think could end up being a star is Alabama quarterback signee Julian Sayin. We've got him ranked number 3 overall, the top quarterback prospect. I know Jalen Milroe has come on late and he turned things around this season at quarterback for Alabama, but I think Julian Sayin is probably the future for Alabama eventually after Jalen Milroe leaves. For everything that Alabama wants at quarterback, I think he brings to the table, and I have a feeling that he's going to end up being a star for them.
Somebody in the chat says Tom's last name is Dutch for of hairs. So is that true? Is it Tom of hairs? I've never. I mean, I guess so. That seems correct.
Got great locks.
He does have great locks. Tom, when it's all said and done, I know there's a little bit up in the air. Even after losing Raiola, Georgia's still likely going to have the number 1 class. But in February, do you think Alabama overtake him? You think UJ wins in the end?
Yeah, I think Georgia probably holds on, especially if they can, like I just said, if they can flip KJ Bolden, the 5-star safety. If they can add him, I think they end up holding on to that. However, Alabama's trying to flip quite a few prospects today as well. There's a defensive end committed to Ohio State. There's a running back committed to Miami that they're trying to flip. So they're going to make it close. I think Alabama's going to make it close. In February, though, I do think Georgia probably holds on to that number 1 spot. Probably a little bit too much to take on.
Tom VanHaaren himself. Tom, thank you so much, man. I know it's an insane day today, so thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
All right, take it easy, man. Nookie would know because he used to live in the Netherlands. You gotta remember.
That's true.
Matt, are you going to flip your commitment to another show? Did you ever flip your commitment to LSU? Like, were you ever committed anywhere else, or were you always LSU? Did old Nick get in there and get his hooks in you?
How
much
did he pay? I ever told. I committed to LSU in June before my senior year. That's like, this is prehistoric times when you committed to somebody and you kind of stayed with it. And then when you didn't commit until like your senior year either. But I did almost flip at the end because if anybody remembers, it's a long time ago, but we were going to take 2 quarterbacks that year, and they were up front with me from the very beginning, and me and Robert Lane were committed.
Yeah.
And then the night before signing day, I think he drops out, decommits because they were still pursuing Jamarcus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so, I kind of wavered a little bit, but me and Jimbo's a really good recruiter, and so
there you go.
Talked me off a ledge.
Matt Frost, he took the road less traveled, and that has made all the difference. When we get back, let's close out our. Remember to go to drinkmyhigh.com. I don't think we mentioned that yet today. Drinkmyhigh.com.
Drink a lot of it.
Drink a lot of it.
Just all of it.
And when we get back, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hey, it's Matt Muscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch. The original walk-ons, Burbank at Nicholson. Scott Rabelais will be with us along with Wes Reynolds and professional sports handicapper Randy McKay. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You know, Matt,
Yes.
I've heard it's more important than ever to hydrate when it's cold outside.
It actually is.
Right?
It's when you get comfortable. What did Jimbo always say about accidents happening? If you remember,
I think
accidents
like
happen and you're one of them. I wish your mom would have never had you.
80% of car accidents happen within 1 mile of your home.
Why? Why is that?
Because
Matt?
you get comfortable.
That's right.
You get complacent.
Yep. Just like when you get dehydrated in the wintertime.
You get complacent.
So should I be concerned that my urine was the color of dark chocolate this morning?
Actually, when it's cold weather, listen to this. The part of your brain that tells you to drink just kind of shuts off. Okay?
True. I've been playing so now that Bobby's finally old enough to go back to the fun zone, tennis is very much back on in a big way. And, during the summer, between every game, you're wandering over that water machine hitting it. Barely ever now. I will say this, my high was crucial on the Disney trip, bro. Thank you.
Well, it's a lot of walking and a lot of drinking.
That's what I'm saying. Kept the hangover at bay and the steps stacking away.
Yep. I had to slam a couple this morning. It was my wife's birthday yesterday, and so I just had a couple whiskeys, Got a little headache this morning. Yeah. Not anymore.
You ever snorted my high? Just straight to the dome?
No, it's liquid. That would hurt.
We used to snort vodka in college.
That's
say
weird.
Don't say we.
Y'all never got y'all to do that back in the day?
Don't have a mouse in your pocket.
I never got y'all to do that back in the day?
No. You were a freshman when we were senior.
You would not have gotten me to do that.
No.
Australian girl came in town and taught us that one time.
Did you keister any?
I did not, but a Swedish girl told me about keistering. That was the first time I ever heard of it.
Okay.
Said they used to soak tampons in Everclear and then put them up their rectum. Which is dangerous, and you 1,000% should not do. I was in a hotel room at Mardi Gras. Very weird story.
Damn Swedes.
How did we come back from that?
DrinkMyHigh.com.
We have another hour of the show, and we have to continue. He's saying we very loosely.
Yeah.
Well, it's because for a while there, I was forcing everyone to snort vodka. But I guess that was after our time together.
Were you a bully?
I feel like you kind of were.
No, Ashley Megan says I snorted vodka. It sucked. It does suck. It's pointless. It's really stupid. Just no point to it. Never do it. Never do it.
I saw some guys snort pre-workout in the freshman dorms.
Also really dumb.
But that's powder.
That's
powder, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like that's almost more sketchy. Who knows what's in that pre-workout? That feels like a heart attack. Although I'm sure the signs I'm snorting vodka is
jacked up
great.
3D right up the nostrils.
A ton of caffeine.
Well,
you want to was it Red Line Extreme? You'd probably die if you snorted that, actually. Did y'all ever drink a Red Line?
I just
think
like
Jack 3D.
Like just getting water up your nose, like swimming and stuff. It sucks.
Yeah.
Can't imagine. Like, why would you do that?
Why? Yeah. Why is the question?
Like you pour
just
in
like the other thing
because
that
your
we talked
sister's
about.
hot Australian friend is like, snort this right
pour it
after
in
she did.
Pour it in your eyeball after that?
I've seen people take shots to their eye.
That's not a thing. That's not.
Yes,
a
it
thing.
is.
Not
right
a
here.
thing.
You didn't. No, you have not.
Bro, look it up.
You're
yes.
You're just
it's
going
a,
to
no,
shock.
It's 1,000%.
This is shock radio.
You do this right here and you pour it in right here. I've 1,000% seen people take shots to their eye. 1,000%.
I feel like that's also a waste because most of it's just going to roll down your cheek probably.
Not that I remember. I don't know. Probably the craziest thing is I had an old teammate that I saw chug an entire fifth of liquor. He was dead sober. He chugs a fifth of liquor. And the next 20 minutes were like a case study in alcohol poisoning, as he didn't drink anymore, but you saw him going from being sober to blackout over a 20-minute period where his like face started to slacken, his speech starts to guys a little bit, and then next thing you know, we're like carrying him up multiple flights of stairs.
I gotta
to
be
dump in
honest,
his
like
bed.
if you're gonna do that, you deserve anything that happens.
You should not do that. That's how you
Yeah.
die. That's alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
It's how you depress your brain so much that it forgets to breathe. Don't do that either.
T-Bob's right on this one. I just Googled it. Vodka eyeballing is the practice of consuming vodka by pouring it into the eye sockets where it is absorbed through membranes and it goes directly into the bloodstream.
I don't know how you know about it.
For a lot to you.
Just drink it.
I just don't know how you know about that.
Because I saw it.
But
I'm
like,
not
who
making
does
it
that
up.
in front of you though? Like we
But
would
why?
we would pour a cold
Degenerates.
We would pour
But
alcohol
why?
in a glass,
Like, I
or
get
I would throw you a cold beer and you drink it, and that's
just
that's
like
what we did.
We would just do it like drink it through the mouth.
The old-fashioned
The
way.
old-fashioned way. Call me old school. What are we doing?
Oh my God, dude. I think you can't hang out with kids from New Orleans. I think that's a problem.
Everyone knows
My
that.
roommate was from New Orleans.
Excuse me.
Who were always the craziest partiers on the team? The New Orleans kids.
I guess.
I knew one kid who dropped acid, didn't sleep all night, and came straight to a fourth quarter workout the next morning.
See, that's bad practice.
Got a white shirt though.
Let's come back full circle.
Of course he did.
Come back full circle. Let's just drink my high. It makes a great stocking stuff for this time of
and
year.
drink it normally
Through the mouth.
Through the mouth.
Through the mouth.
Drink
Not the
my
eyeball,
eye.
not keystone.
If you want it through the mouth, fine.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Wednesday, December 20th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 63. Coming up on OTB, Billy Embody joins the show to talk recruiting. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Here, no,
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, hour number 3. And right now it's time to talk to Billy Embody from On 3 for signing D. What's up, Billy? What's going on, man?
Not much, guys. How are you?
Doing well. Let's talk LSU. We mentioned it at the start of the show. 27 commits right now. In an interesting maybe turn from other years, all 27 expected to sign today, right? Like no real threats of any flipping out of the LSU class?
Yeah, we're expecting everybody that is committed to sign today and be in. We're already at 12 before 9 a.m., which is rolling for the early signing period for sure. So kudos to Brian Kelly and his staff for, not having any drama so far that we're expecting. So that's always a positive when you get into this final, couple days of the recruiting cycle.
How should LSU fans feel about this class? Because some will poo-poo it. It's outside the top 10. There are no consensus 5 stars in it. I think the kind of point, the only thing that kind of maybe sticks out to me is that if you just look at the SEC, it's like middle of the pack. How should LSU fans try to evaluate this? I should say this, let's say a not like maybe a more logical human being, not someone who's just going to be, because it's not like top 3 no matter what.
Yeah, they actually rank as the number 6 overall class for On 3. So we're really high on this group, and LSU staff has done a really nice job addressing needs. Now, people are going to look at it and, of course, wonder what's going to happen with the Dominic McKinley to kind of potentially finish off that defensive line haul. That's an important position for them. But outside of that, they've done a really, really good job with all of their commits. I like pretty much all of them and see kind of the vision for all these guys that they're bringing in. When you look at the top, I see guys like Trey'Dez Green at tight end and Weston Davis on the offensive line that are 2 blue chip guys for LSU and guys that have the potential to finish as 5 stars for On 3. And, those are 2 cornerstones right there. And you look at their finish to this class. They flipped Weston Davis this fall. They flipped Bernard Cosby, a defensive back from New Orleans from Ole Miss. They flipped Gabriel Relaford, a top 100 prospect for On 3. On the defensive line from Texas A&M, they flipped C.J. Jackson, another top 100 prospect from Georgia Tech. They've just done a really nice job closing on this class. And for LSU fans, you should feel pretty good about it. I think they've got one of the best linebacker hauls in the entire country. A lot of versatility, a lot of talent in that group. The offensive line for Brad Davis is a really, really strong class once again for him. And they got a top 10 running back in Caden Durham. And I just think they addressed a lot of needs with this class. And if they can buckle down and get Dominic McKinley, the 5-star defensive lineman from Acadiana in the spring, then you can sit back and if you're following On 3's rankings, you can probably see them finishing in the top 5.
Damn.
Yeah. Billy, we were talking about it right before you came on, of guys that maybe weren't as heralded as some of the 4- and 5-star guys at the bottom of the class. Ashton Stamps was, I think, the lowest rated guy a year ago, and he got some run. And really in fall camp, he was one of the stories. Coaches really were buzzing about him. And so when you look at this class, who, in your opinion, can be that guy? Who's a guy maybe that doesn't, is not a top 300 player. He falls underneath that, but you can see him making an impact this fall.
Yeah, I think Bernard Causey is one to watch from Ole Miss. If he can stay healthy and develop his body, I think he's somebody that could play and challenge for some time at the cornerback position. And, again, a position of need for LSU that they've been able to address. And so I like him a lot on the defensive side, just from one of those more under-the-radar guys. And then another player that LSU got, they brought him into camp. He really shined this summer. He's kind of in a tough offensive situation at Terrebonne, but that's Kylan Billiot, who is a former basketball player who's really locked in on playing football at the next level and has done a nice job continuing to develop. And he's going to the All-American Bowl in January in San Antonio, and he'll have a chance to boost his stock at the end of this recruiting cycle. And if he does well there that week in a kind of neutral setting with good quarterback play and all those things, we could see him move up. But I really like what they got in Kylan Billiot. He's a big body, so that's a plus as well. And so those are two guys, one on each side of the ball, that I feel pretty solid about.
Billy, how is LSU managing to recruit things like defensive backs and D linemen and just really maybe defensive players in general when there's so many rumors and things on these staff appear to potentially be in flux on that side of the ball? Like, what are they selling these recruits on?
Yeah, I think a lot of colleges kind of deal with this around this time of year.
That's fair.
There are coaching changes that are going to happen, across the country, and coaches that are going to move on as soon as signing day is over, or as soon as National Signing Day is over. Those are kind of the windows that we see things happen, and I don't know what we're going to see from LSU, but on that front, it's guys like Frank Wilson and Joe Sloan and Sherman Wilson and J.R. Belton and a lot of the just staff that are kind of working on the class overall. From like a Louisiana perspective, for example, they flipped Gabriel Relaford and Frank Wilson, and those guys really honed in on him and he sold the vision of coming to play for LSU. And with all the changes in College Station, they were able to certainly take advantage of that. But it's all about the guys that you can get that can help your football team, and whether it's coaching changes that kind of help you or whatever situation changing, you've got to just try to assemble as much talent as you can. And for LSU's defense in particular, the push is early playing time, and those guys can help you. And no matter who's the coach, and again, that's kind of across college football. And so if you can make them feel comfortable and make them feel like they've got a home and they're going to be taken care of and things like that, then a lot of the times you can see the fruits of that labor pay off. And I think we did in that respect.
Now, Billy, obviously, LSU's kind of become a quarterback factory. Two of the last four starters have won Heisman trophies, and never did I think we'd say that, but that's where we're at. And so you get a quarterback in Colin Hurley, and this is somebody that's been committed to LSU for over a year, and I realize he's not the 6'5", 230-pound quarterback. He's, a little over 6 foot tall, 215 pounds, but he is a four-star guy. Kind of what's the breakdown and your thoughts on Colin Hurley?
Yeah, I actually saw him finish out his high school career on Monday night at the U.S. Army Bowl in Frisco, and he kind of came together with a group that had to deal with a lot of pressure in his face in that game, especially in the first half. But he responded and threw 5 touchdown passes and was really in command of everything he was doing in the second half. And so I like him. I think he's somebody that can sit and develop. You've got Garrett Nussmeier. You've got A.J. Swan now, the Vanderbilt transfer that's coming in. Got Ricky Collins. But Collins still young. And so if he can sit for a couple years and not be forced into playing early, which I think is, the plan for him for sure, that would be ideal. And he has some of the top natural arm talent that is out there in the country. If he can improve his accuracy and just kind of consistency in his mechanics, he'll have a chance to be a good one. And so he's been a leader of this class. He's been locked in, like you said. He'll be here in January, so we'll get a jump on everything. And, we'll kind of see how he goes. And the good thing for LSU, like you said, is they're right in the mix and right near the top for Bryce Underwood, the number 1 player in the country in 2025. So if you reel him in, then you just continue to see that positive momentum at that quarterback position too.
Is someone like Hurley increasingly rare nowadays, Billy, in that he is someone who, how do I say it? It's like he's been so gung-ho LSU from the very beginning, right? Like throughout it all, constantly recruiting. It seems like more and more nowadays, maybe players, and maybe I'm off here, but it feels like outside looking in, maybe players are more reticent to show that just kind of full-on commitment because you could argue that it takes like monetary leverage off the table.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and quarterbacks are a little different. They do seem like they tend to stay a little bit more locked in, but even, we're seeing buzz around DJ Lagway, potentially flipping from Florida. I haven't seen a letter of intent roll in from him. If I missed it, that's another thing. But, overall, you see most of the quarterbacks stay locked in because they want to recruit for their class. And, quarterback commits are kind of like baseball commits. They want to get their process done and just kind of focus on their seasons and focus on preparing for their college experience. And you can kind of see the trajectory and the path of their quarterback room that they're going to join relatively early compared to some of these other positions, at least in my opinion. And so LSU did a really nice job locking him in early, and so credit to Joe Sloan for that. But, yeah, once Colin was committed, he was locked in, and I don't know if it's necessarily rare, but I think he's one of those guys that you can point to that just showed how you should be locked in as a quarterback for the most part, unless your situation changes or what have you. But that's what you want to see from your quarterback commit.
Billy, if you want to look into the future here and tell me which one of these players maybe gets on the field the fastest, would you have an answer ready to go?
Oh, yeah. I think you could see somebody like Caden Durham. I think Caden Durham, the top 10 back from Duncanville. I just watched him in the state championship game do what he does, which is produce. He had over 2,000 yards and 35 touchdowns this year for Duncanville. He is physically ready to go. He is very, very physical. He runs really hard. He's a one-cut guy, so just from that perspective, he's going to, not be tippy-toeing. He's going to lower his shoulder and take on contact, but he also has a 10.25 100-meter dash on his resume, which is just absolutely moving. So he's a really ready now back, and with LSU's running back room, could be losing a couple guys. I think he's going to be in position to play early.
Last one here, Billy. Jesse asked a good question. Is college football done with super COVID seniors? Is this the last year?
There's probably a few out there that are going to be 6-year guys. So I think this upcoming season is probably the last one.
Wow.
That I can think of. You get guys that redshirted in 2019, and then 2020 didn't count, and then they played 21, 22, 23. So 2024 should be the last year of it, I think.
Billy Embody, coverage recruiter for On3 Sports for LSU, SMU as well. He does excellent work. Billy, thank you so much. I know it's an insane day for you, so thank you for carving out some time for us here on OTB.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Go follow him on Twitter at Billy Embody. Actually, let me make sure I have Bill. I was just going off the top of the dome here. Let me make sure I got Billy's Twitter right, because he is a great follow if you love recruiting. Yeah, just at Billy Embody. Perfect. Love it. And Bengal Tiger on 3. They have a really good LSU team over there at On 3. I actually finally broke down recently and signed up for a little inside info.
It's always fun to kind of go back to some of these different classes and see like where guys were after their career. Like Malik Neighbors was the 4th rated receiver in LSU signing class.
Yeah.
The year that he signed. You had Chris Hilton, the top guy. Brian Thomas Jr. was number 2. You had Deion Smith, number 3. And then Malik Neighbors came in at his position within his own signing class at number 4. He was the 15th rated player in the LSU signing class.
Yeah, and I kind of like looking at that receiver room because it kind of holds it all, right? It is a guy in Brian Thomas Jr. who was supposed to be awesome and ended up being awesome.
Yeah.
It is a guy in Malik Neighbors who's a diamond in the rough, hidden value. There's a guy in Deion Jones that, hey, just didn't work out. And then a guy in Chris Hilton who is supposed to be awesome, still trying to find his way.
Also had Jack Besh in
not
that
reached
class
full
too.
potential. He had a weird career as well. See, just look at that receiving class. It just shows you how when you marry individual recruits, you just never quite know how it's going to work out. Colin Hurley, somebody in chat pointed out, I forgot. So Colin Hurley's supposed to be 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Reclassified.
That's what Taylor was saying too earlier. Yeah,
I wasn't listening to Taylor. I hardly listen to Taylor. He starts talking, my brain just immediately shuts off.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's
feeling pretty good about Hurley.
He's currently only 16 years old, I believe. So he won't be 17 till next fall.
Are you effing with me?
What?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, he's reclassified.
So
he's supposed to be a junior this year.
When Jetpack in the chat said he'd be a sophomore at U High, I thought he was being facetious.
No. So his freshman year.
Facetious?
Facetious. Yeah.
His first year on campus at LSU, he will be a 17-year-old. Yes.
Whoa. 17.
How does that feel with your evangel sensibilities?
I mean, I don't know why you take a shot.
It's so funny.
You make the joke all the time.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, my
Champ
bad.
in the chat just said.
I got a kid at U High now. I can't make the joke.
I was 17 my junior year. I turned 18 in May of my junior year, 19 the day I graduated high school. Yeah.
Champ in the chat just said Colin Hurley would be in 7th grade at Evangel.
Yeah, and Champ, you would have called it L if you played against Evangel. You probably did.
True. Also, Evangel's not the only one that does this. Maybe they were ahead of the curve, but I know
Evangel,
West Monroe does this
Curtis,
now.
Catholic.
I think U High's got a little element of
I'm
this.
sure U High has some of it. I don't know.
Maybe not as much.
Wasn't
Curtis notorious for that as well?
Yeah, that's where it
actually started?
Where it started, yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, JT knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, ahead of the curve.
A lot of guys
ahead
get
of the
6th grade twice.
Ahead
a lot
of the
people
Curtis.
What happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. They're called doctors. A lot of people go to college for 7 years, Richard.
Look, help me. I didn't have to redshirt.
Yeah, and you ended up in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it worked. It goes back. It's the Malcolm Gladwell book, Outliers, which now, I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to get into it. All right. When we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I love All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. You already know that. That's why I've got not one, but 2 Murder Out Minis now. The scene is incredible. But look, yes, it's a place to buy new, used vehicles. Toyotathon's going on, great deals. But what if you need your car serviced? You got a funny noise going on, anything? Bring it into the All-Star Toyota Body Shop. You get an accident, insurance claims are welcome. And check this out. This ain't just for Toyota. This is all makes and models. The customer service is unreal, y'all. The free estimate. They keep you up to date with whatever they're doing. No big decision made without your knowledge. They have the shuttle service. They have the rentals right there on site, factory parts. So bring your vehicle into the body shop if you need and mention OTB, Jake, T-Bob, whatever, and you get $100 towards your deductible.
And also right now, if you want to check out those rentals, because, well, it's the holiday season. Maybe you're traveling, right? Flynn's going up to Tyler, Texas. So if he wanted to go get a Sienna, he could do so. Rent a Toyota today, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, it's Matt Muscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Glide and twirl in a winter wonderland. Skating on the river is back. Ice skating at the Raising Cane's River Center Arena, December 18th through 31st. Visit RaisingCanesRiverCenter.com for scheduled times, dates, and to purchase tickets. Sponsored by Fox 44, NBC Local 33, Guarantee Media, and Acadian Ambulance.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes.
This Sunday, as we bring you 3 different NFL games, we start off with Colts-Falcons. Immediately following that, it is Cowboys and Dolphins. And then finally, the Patriots at Broncos. Tune in this Sunday to hear all 3 of those games here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Out of all the reindeers, you know you're the mastermind. Run, run, Rudolph. Randolph ain't too far behind. Run, run, Rudolph. Santa's gotta make it to town. Santa, make him hurry. Tell him he can take the freeway down.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB Saints getting ready for some Thursday night football, boys. Saints Rams tomorrow. In a lot of ways, this feels like, although if you've already made your mind up on this team, that is what it is. But this Rams game, if you are still, you're an optimist, you're bullish on this team. As we said, Jake made the very good point that draft picks are kind of out the window at this point. So you might as well win, make it fun, win the division, try to make the playoffs, try to maybe sneak a game. If you're going to get me, though, to buy in that it's possible, beating the Rams is that's going to be the way to do it. Like if you lose this game, even if you finish 9-8 and you beat the Falcons, it'll be fun, and you beat the Bucs and you win the division. That's all great, but I'm still not going to give you any kind of juice going to the playoffs. But if you finish on a 3-game win streak with a win over a Rams team that's playing better football right now, and you finish 10-7, well, that is market improvement. I don't expect that, but 10-7, that's objectively really good. Like, especially given Dennis Allen's career record. Yeah, and that's about where. So even despite all the bad, they have a chance to actually end up right where we maybe expect them to be before the season. Again, I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. And if they're going to do it, Derek Carr is going to be key. And we got to give credit to the legend DC4, baby. One of 3. Well, he needs like 100-something yards, I believe, unless he already hit this number. One of 3 quarterbacks in NFL history to have 3,000 passing yards each of their first 10 seasons, joining Russell Wilson and Peyton Manning. Give it up for our boy Derek Carr, dude. Saints Ring of Honor. Clap. There we go. Clap.
Well, the thing is, look, if he needs only 100 yards, he should get that by the next 3 games.
Yeah, like,
it's not
right?
guaranteed, but he should.
At least within, yes, at least by the Falcons game. Like, surely the Falcons game could push him across the finish line. Although, I mean, don't let Dennis Allen tell you, but you must not have been watching that 210 last Sunday, okay? Because that'll get it done. 218, excuse me. Obviously, I'm being what many would consider a jerk in being so tongue-in-cheek about this. It is a hell of an accomplishment, if I wanted to be sincere about it, to throw over 3,000 yards in each of your first 10 seasons. But I guess in the same vein, it's kind of indicative of a lot of the issue with Carr in general, which is the numbers don't always tell the whole story, maybe on what the quality of the quarterback play has been, which I fell for because I don't watch the AFC West generally. So I didn't watch Derek Carr play for years and years very closely. And when I did see a matchup with the Saints, he played really well, actually. So I was maybe guilty of falling into those numbers and maybe was sold a bit of a bill of goods.
I have spent a lot of time watching the AFC West in my life, and I did have my own thoughts on how this would play out for the Saints. But with all that being said, they still do have an opportunity. Now, the Rams are playing incredibly well. Their last 5 games, they're 4-1. Their only loss, 37-31 in overtime on the road against Baltimore.
Yeah.
So they have put themselves, they were looking at a top 5 draft pick, and now they're in the playoffs. That's how they've turned around their season. You're 2-3 in your last 5, and wins coming in your last 2 after a 3-game losing streak. But you're playing better. The Carolina game, that's just a bad football team, and it was ugly, but you found a way to win. There was things in the Giants game that were improvements. You did look better in the positions that you just had to look better in, offensive line and some of the protection things, like maybe that helped Derek Carr get to his 218. Now you're going against a different team here with the LA Rams. Now the Giants have actually a Thibodeau and Lawrence. They've got a good front, and you did a nice job. You have to have that kind of performance again, because even though Aaron Donald's not having his typical year, he's still Aaron Donald, and he can still affect the game. Certainly him against Cesar Ruiz.
It's Aaron Donald against Cesar Ruiz. I mean, what are we talking about? I don't care what Aaron Donald's done statistically. My man has got to be licking his chops watching this Saints film this year.
That's fair. It's completely fair. I mean, Cesar Ruiz is below the lowest graded starting guard. He's 68.
What did it feel like when you were
Oh, you knew it.
A player, yeah, like you knew you were about to feast on. And then what about like when you're an elite player and maybe you are having a down year? Do you think that guy's extra hungry to go like
it's a get right. It's a get right game.
Stack stats.
Yeah, it's a get right game.
Yeah.
Like if you're an elite player and you're not playing to that level, well, I can do a lot of things to get back to that level, but you know it. I can remember playing against the Colts on maybe like a Sunday night game. I forget which year it was, but I remember watching film and watching their linebackers, and they were undersized and they weren't fast. I'm like, this is going to bode well for us here. We are not going to have a difficult time running the football, and we didn't. We crushed the Colts that night in Indy, and you know it. Like when you're watching tape, you know that you've got advantages, and so the Rams are going to watch that tape outside of last week and think that they have major advantages, and so it's going to change their game plan. Because now they're going to think, you know what, we can win rushing 4. We can win our one-on-one battles. Now we can play more coverage. Now we can try to confuse Derek Carr. So it certainly changes the schematics of what this game is going to be, and it's going to be a tough game up front for the Saints. Yeah. They're going to have to do exactly what they did last week against, again, a really good Giants front. Now this game is not at home. It is at SoFi. So you have to play with the crowd noise as well on offense.
On the road.
Cross country.
Aaron Donald, cross country.
Thursday games.
Matt Stafford is not Bryce Young and Tommy DeVito, unfortunately, even if he's not Matt Stafford, that he has been for his whole career.
He's kind of been that guy lately.
Yeah. Yeah, and you run into a hot team.
Naku and Kupp and Williams, a running back's been a stud. One of the better running backs in the league when he's been healthy.
So it sounds like you think the Rams are going to win?
They have the advantages.
Yeah, I think so too.
And they have the advantages.
But prove me wrong, Dennis Allen.
Yes.
I would love, like, at least if you're going to be smug with me in the post game, you're smug because it's a win, which makes it all a bit more palatable and go down a bit more smoothly.
He seems to be using like the local media and fans as the outside noise that they're talking about, and that you hear some of the players talking about, like he's trying to motivate them, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think the Saints have been rather tone deaf in some of their presentation this year. As you pointed out, the Loomis quote about selling the tickets because the economy was probably the most clear example of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the T-Bob, that's why people don't want to go to the games, right? Because Saints fans
they
are
need
poor,
money, yes,
even though they won't take free tickets. So it's one of those weird things. It's one of those economy things that the common folk like us don't understand.
Those tickets were $1, okay? Not free. Not like the Panthers tickets, which were 45 cents. For Panthers-Falcons.
The Falcons went to that stadium and lost. I know the Saints are going through some bad times, but that's hilarious to me.
Yeah. I mean, yes, and, misery loves company. You think you hate Pete Carmichael? At least you don't have Arthur Smith calling your place.
I've seen a lot of Falcons fans on Twitter calling for interim head coach Ryan Nielsen this week. So,
yeah. Why wouldn't you?
And a lot of Saints fans will probably have thoughts on interim coaches as well.
Yes.
True. All right, when we get back, the trial of Lady Muscona as we continue our nostalgic trip down the Song of Purple and Gold Road. Coming up next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com, CommunitySteelCo.com. You need steel, you need Community Steel in Gonzales, Louisiana. Their local, live and local sales team. Incredible prices, because they build everything right there on site. All your purlin, tubing, sheet metal, steel building needs, all there, man. Commercial or personal, they got your back. Community Steel Company.
Go to their website today. Great website, but the thing I love about it, it says Gonzales, Louisiana in the biggest font possible because they want you to know that they are local. They don't have to go elsewhere. Dallas and Houston, Atlanta, Austin, wherever, right? They don't have to call somebody. They handle everything right here locally. So 225-647-2020 is that number. So whatever your steel needs are, commercial, residential, does not matter. They can help you out. And again, the most important part is they can help you out today. CommunitySteelCo.com is the website. The phone number one more time, 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 56 years of allowing Corvell Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corvell Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The
best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you.
Join me for a What If Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. JD Piquel from 1-3 Sports talking college football, and it's National Signing Day for the Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, y'all, welcome back. OTB. So all week long, we've been doing a Song of Purple and Gold throwbacks. And so here's the latest one. I'm just choosing my favorite episodes. This is the trial of Lady Muscona.
A Song of Purple and Gold. Brought to you by Capital Partners, a full-service lobbying and public relations firm here to remind the good folks of Southeasteros to be prepared, because session is coming.
In the cast iron justice system, treason-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In Death Valley, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious betrayals are members of an elite squad known as the Special Kunas Unit. These are their stories. 5:36 p.m. outside the courtroom of the Cast Iron Throne. The Kingmaker and the Swamp King huddle together, discussing the fate of Lady Muscona. Though she is craven and false, there are still many in the Kingdom of Louisiana that support the bold traitor. They must tread carefully if they are going to unite the people of Baton Rouge. They need a voice the commoners trust. A voice that knows the history of Death Valley like none other. A voice that has seen the best of times and the worst of times, and yet has remained loyal throughout. And thus have they called upon the services of Archmaester Hannegriff. As the pair enter the courtroom, they see the faces of the Swamp King's court arrayed around the edges. In the middle of the vaulted hall stands Lady Muscona. Bedraggled and in chains, she was found hiding under a pile of human excrement during the sacking of Boston. As soon as the Swamp King enters, the beady eyes of Lady Muscona lock onto the King's. never wavering as Lord Ogeron walks to the front of the hall and takes his seat upon the cast iron throne. Archmaester Hannegriff rises and joins Lady Muscona in the center of the room.
Order! The trial of Lady Muscona is about to begin. Mr. Hannegriff, the court is yours.
Archmaester Hannegriff takes a deep breath and looks around the room before turning and facing his prey.
Lady Muscona, this courtroom has gathered here today in front of the cast iron throne and the 7 gods of the Holy Gumbo in order to decide your fate. You sit in front of this honorable room, accused of treason and conspiracy to commit regicide. How do you plead?
Shut up. Shut up! Shut up!
It is well known that you have been the secret leader of the Order of the Negatiger, a group that has consistently sought to undermine the Swamp King's mission to rule Southeasteros. Lady Muscona, why have you chosen to portray your rightful king?
Oh, there was that little bit about the continued deterioration of the LSU football program and what appears to be the irreversible harm that's being done right now by Ed Ogeron and his staff to LSU, which with every passing day continues to crumble further and further and continues to lose its grip on relevance a little bit more.
How can you say that in the light of recent successes?
Because today, he's not good. Not only is he not good, he's a bad head coach. He knows nothing, and it's evident. And the thing that's the worst, the shame of it all, is Ed Ogeron is doing what he knows to do. It's just not enough.
You say this despite the fact that all the wise men of Southeasteros view the kingdom of Louisiana as perhaps the single greatest threat to the continued tyranny of the Crimson Emperor.
Because they don't know what they're doing there either. I mean, I could go on, and I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. What I know today is that LSU has a lot wrong with it right now.
So, you openly admit that you believe that the kingdom of Louisiana has no chance to dethrone the Crimson Emperor and his meth-addled following.
Look, it's true. I'm very much been in a position where I've been completely defeated by Alabama. I've just assumed Alabama's going to be in the playoff, that LSU's not going to beat them until Nick Saban leaves. That's the truth.
Yet this truth you claim is naught but lies. The Swamp King's forces are now led by the greatest Lord Commander Southeasteros has ever seen. Is it not true that Sir Burrow is even greater than Sir Tagovailoa?
You see, you can tell me things, but my eyes aren't deceiving me. Tua is the best quarterback in the SEC. I think he's the best quarterback in the country. That's reality.
That's it, Your Grace. I've heard enough. It is clear to me and anyone with a functioning brain that Lady Muscona shows no remorse. In light of this, I see no other option but to find her guilty on all counts and recommend a sentence of death.
Order! Order in the court! Lady Muscona, Mr. Hannegriff has seen all. He is very wise, and only a fool would ignore his advice. And yet, though I know not why, my heart tells me to offer you one more chance. So listen close. Renounce your evil ways. Turn your back on the Order of the Negatiger. Bend the knee and swear fealty to me, and your life will be spared. Have you heard what I've said?
You heard what I said? Yeah, I heard what you said. You don't know what you're doing. You have a problem. You have a controversy, a question, a quarrel. Call it whatever you want to call it, brother. You don't know what to do. You suck.
You fool! I've heard enough. Lady Muscona, by the power vested in me by the Crawfish Kingdom and the 7 gods of the Holy Gumbo, I hereby sentence you to death. Kingmaker, put him on his knees.
The Swamp King unsheathes his New Orleans steel blade as the Kingmaker forces Lady Muscona to her knees. He raises his sword high above his head, the golden afternoon sunlight glinting off the razor-sharp edge.
See you in hell.
The Swamp King brings his blade down with all the force he can muster, and in one fell swoop cuts off the head of the treasonous bastard. Blood squirts from the stump of Lady Muscona's neck as her head rolls on the floor, a maniacal, evil smile forever frozen on her hideous features. The Swamp King turns to face his court.
Behold! The evil of Lady Muscona is finally at an end! The order of the Nega-Tiger is no more! Finally, my people will be united once again! It is time for us to come together! One team, one heartbeat! Our eyes turn north to Vanderbilt, to the Commodores, and next they turn to the Emperor. We will not be contained! Go Tigers!
So stupid. All right. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll wrap up the show with Ask the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Gordon McCartan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McCartan Injury Attorneys. Look, they are there for you. When you need somebody who's going to fight for you, give you what you deserve, right? You get in an accident, you know what to do. Gordon McCartan knows what to do. 225-888-8888. Really, any area code in Louisiana with the 8s behind it will get you to the right place. And follow him on social media at Get Gordon is a great, it's a great idea as well. As not only do you see really entertaining content with all your favorite athletes, you know, a lot of members of the G team, big supporter of your favorite LSU athletes, but also tips and tricks for how to handle yourself after an accident, what to do to make sure you protect yourself. Get Gordon, get it done today.
Go to the website, getgordon.com, where you can really do it all right now. So if you're already at work, can't get to the phones, remember you can find cases they can handle for you. You can ask questions on the website as well. But look, just give them a call. Area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of
Hey, it's Matt Muscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. It's National Signing Day. Brian Kelly recaps the class, and we'll take a closer look at the Rams as the Saints head west. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Greg, we usually did that. Greg says was usually at the end of the first show. First hour was at the beginning of the second hour is what we generally did. That's the bench. T-Bob, you ready for another edition of T-Bob's 3D Christmas present? 3D printed Christmas present? Yes, I can't wait. So we got Zach Moe. He made me an awesome Star Wars 3D printed chess set and some great Star Wars 3D printed ornaments, which now hang on a little fake tree I put in the baby room. So, yeah, man. Thank you. Ask the bench, Jake. We know you're a version of
printed neck rolls that he wants to.
Maybe.
I mean, gosh, there's two hosts on this show. Just saying. Sheesh.
3D printed neck roll seems pretty stupid, though.
Nope. Well, okay. Did I say anything about your Star Wars ornaments or your little chess set?
Well, you can't because it doesn't seem stupid.
To you?
No. To anybody.
Yeah. I'd rather play checkers anyways. It got grit.
What
are you saying?
That is stupid.
Nope.
That
Gritty.
is stupid. No, checkers
Cracker Barrel
not.
doesn't have chess set up. They got checkers, and it's delicious.
I had a dream that I was at Cracker Barrel the other day, and I was doing the little pyramid game.
Okay. Not relevant. We're talking checkers here.
Ask the bench. Brought to you by Cold Coors Light Vizier. It's under Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. Shout out Coors Light. Jake, we all know of your aversion to water, so do you mix your Mai Tai into milk?
Ooh, flavored milk?
Would that actually taste good? Like, maybe?
Probably not.
No, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. The only thing that's good mixed into milk is usually chocolate.
Right?
I mean, I can't
or
think
if
of
you had like, because they do like the
peanut butter,
cinnamon, like if you had
peanut
like
butter. Yep, cinnamon could go well there.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Okay.
You had like a
sugar.
strawberry or a banana or something, but not like.
If there was a strawberry Mai Tai flavor, that actually might be okay.
But I don't want like fruit punch, watermelon.
No, I don't want
whatever.
That. No.
Maybe.
Not in my
milk. It
milk.
might be good. I don't know. We never tried it.
Ask the bench. What's your opinion of sangria? Great during the summer.
Had some Friday for my mom's birthday. It was fun.
Hashtag mailbag. Did Jake get his breakfast yesterday? No, but he did get his Piccadilly.
I did. It went from breakfast to Piccadilly, and I sent the group the picture. I was so happy. My children were happy. The wife was happy. Everybody was happy. Piccadilly was had at the house.
I smiled. It was not as good as Mario's hot dog picture that time, but I did enjoy it nonetheless.
I'm not going to lie. It did look a little bit like one of Mario's lunches. I don't want to hate. I don't want to hate here.
It was a huge hamburger steak with like multiple sides and a bread. If you think it looked like what Mario eats, you need to get your eyes checked.
When I opened it up, I thought maybe it's just because he normally sends them. I thought it was a Mario meal.
I don't want to hate on my guy, but like at least Jake's was consistent. Like Mario would send us like spaghetti, fried egg, chocolate cake. That's
three things that like don't even. They're not distant.
You cobble together the leftovers.
No.
That makes sense.
No,
it's called efficiency.
No, it's
I
called
agree.
random
Efficiency. It feels good. You feel like you're being fiscally responsible when you eat leftovers.
It's a great feeling.
I agree.
Yes.
Like I've been eating a pot roast right when I get home for like 3 days in a row now.
That's fine. You're not gonna have pot roast mixed with a piece of like chocolate cake on the same plate like Mario sometimes with hot dog wiener cut up.
Last night I was jumping from pot roast to gingerbread cake. Pretty
On the
damn
same
good,
plate?
Not on the same plate.
Okay.
But from bite to bite.
Well, that's psycho behavior as well.
That's bad.
It's not bad. DraftKings. We didn't even get to Pelicans today because freaking signing day and stuff freaking sucks. But if you bet on last night's game, even if you're upset about how the Pelicans lost, If you were a new customer, use the promo code Baton Rouge at sign up. You bet $5 on NBA game. You still won because you got $150 in bonus bets instantly. That deal's going on for anybody who's a new customer. Sign up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Promo code Baton Rouge. $5 on the NBA, $150 in bonus bets. If you're a returning customer, there's always great boosts, parlays, game day deals for the NFL, NBA, all of it. Same game parlays, multi-game parlays, multi-league parlays. It's more fun when you're in the action. Right now, the crown is yours, okay? Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms of sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Patient Plus Urgent Care. Go to patientplusuc.com. The sickness this time of year, man. Happens to all of us, okay? You don't got time to be sick. You're trying to enjoy these holiday seasons, man. You know what? You need a steroid shot. You need something like that. You need to feel better. You want to go to Patient Plus. Go get tested. Go see what's going on. Let their excellent doctors and nurse practitioners help you get right. And check out their excellent facilities where you sign in right there on the iPad. You're in, you're out, you're better. It takes no time at all. And ask about the membership while you're in there. Very affordable. Unlimited visits. You go twice, you're already coming out ahead. Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com.
Yeah, we're not the band Disturbed. We don't get down with the sickness, okay? And you shouldn't either. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. And like T-Bob said, if you want to become a member with unlimited visits for only $20 a month, you can learn more information at the website, PatientPlusUC.com. Get in and get better.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 56 years of allowing Corval Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corval Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night